Today on the Black Channel. No, your eyes do not deceive you. It is 10 o'clock in the morning, and yet we are here. And we are here today because there are some people that we need to get in touch with, and that is exactly what we are going to do. The white supremacists are on the march. They are making it very clear what they're trying to do. And today we are going to mount our response to it. There are certain incidents that have caught my attention, as I know that they've caught yours. And we are not here to talk about it. We're here to show what we're going to do about it. About 3 years ago, there was an incident with some folks there, and similarly, we came out, and it was the middle of the day, but we made our impression felt, and we changed everything. And I intend for this to be a repeat of that to the next order. In Lee County, this district attorney, Lewis Lamb, this individual here has apparently taken it upon himself. We have a situation where they're undercharging people. We have a situation where there are suspected white supremacists and confirmed white supremacists. And they are undercharging people to make sure that they can walk and to essentially let them go unpunished. It is my suspicion that what is emboldening them to do that is the fact that they believe that they are not being seen and not being witnessed, and that they can do it under cover of confusion. And that is going to be something that we have to show them is a mistake. So for the folks who are in that area, first of all, I want us to be very, very clear about something. The state of Georgia has hate crime statutes. Please understand that. The state of Georgia has hate crime statutes. This is not something that they're working on. This is not something that you're trying to get to. The state of Georgia already has these laws on the books. In case you did not know, when you have individuals like the one on your screen here, this Kinzer fella, who is going around calling folks niggers at a family reunion before opening fire on them, this is the definition of a hate crime. But apparently, Mr. Lewis Lamb apparently has difficulty with acknowledging that this is a hate crime for some strange reason. So this is the first thing I would like for us to do, and I'm calling on all of my brothers and all of my sisters, particularly those of you in the Georgia area there. I am calling on you in particular. I want to get in touch with this family. If you know them, don't send me emails talking about, I got some information there, Jason. You can contact them. No, I'm calling on you all to contact them. I want to get in touch with this family that he opened fire on. They defended themselves, rightfully so. But I want to get in touch with this family. I want to get in touch with this family because so-called District Attorney Lamb here has apparently decided that he doesn't really want to charge this as anything. And so at that point right there, it looks like you're trying to embolden people to commit these kinds of crimes. And that's the whole situation you have right there, is if you have elected officials who are doing that. When it starts looking like they're emboldening people there, you're usually doing that because they think they're not being seen. Our job is to change that. So if you know this family, if you are familiar with them, if you got folk who know them there in Lee County, I want for you all to get in touch with them. I want to get in touch with this family. So to anyone there who knows them, Ramel Green or whatever, anybody in this area there, that is what we're looking for. What is that? What street is that? Mossy Oak Drive and Autumn Leaf Drive. If this is where that happened, Mossy Oak Drive, Autumn Leaf Drive, I want folk to get in touch with them. You got my email address, theblackauthority@yahoo.com. I want to get in touch with this family. I want to get in touch with this family. I want to get in touch with these people. So we're calling all of our soldiers out there to get in touch with them. I want to get in touch with these people. Because you have a district attorney who is taking actions that are aiding and abetting this white supremacist. If the local media will not make an issue of it, we will. If the local issue will not make an issue of it, we will. At the end of the article, you saw it said he was released from jail on only $5,000 bond. He committed a gun crime. That's a felony. He committed a hate crime, a gun crime, and a hate crime, and they just let him back out on $5,000. At that point, Louis Lamb starts to look like he's a fellow traveler with this white supremacist. If he does not want to be regarded as that, he needs to very quickly stop collaborating with him. Maybe he was calculating that he could get away with it because if no one could see him. Well, the family says that they are not happy about this, it says. The family demands more serious charges. The sheriff's office said additional charges are expected. Not enough are expected because, you see, that should have been from the very, very beginning. So I want us to do our part to make sure that everyone is alerted about this. We are going to raise the profile of this issue, and not late. We're going to raise the profile of it now. So my folks in Georgia, if you got people in Lee County, you got people in Leesburg, you got people on Mossy Oak Drive and Autumn Leaf Drive, if you got folk out there, get them in touch with me. I want to get in touch with this family who was assaulted by this white supremacist would-be killer, and the district attorney who is directly running interference in the face of gun-wielding madmen. A district attorney who is running interference and protecting them and immediately releasing them back on the streets after committing a gun crime, after opening fire to murder people, and the district attorney immediately releases them, not in so-called liberal San Francisco, not in so-called liberal New York, right there in Georgia, with no Megyn Kelly saying anything. Dead quiet. If you didn't know better, you'd swear that Megyn Ku Klux Kelly is very happy about this. A lot of people think that as a white supremacist, she's very pleased for these things. Well, we are not. We are not. This is not something that we're going to tolerate there. So I want you all to get in touch with that family. It is very, very important. Very important that occur. You all have my email address. This is why I'm doing this now. I want to know where the offices are for District Attorney Louis Lamb so that we can bring it to his attention. We need to bring it directly to his attention that he is committing malfeasance at best, and that he is running interference for white supremacists and the local media. We are going to let them know that, by the way, as broadcasting in the public interest, you need to be investigating this district attorney who seems to be protecting white supremacist interests. You're not supposed to be soft on crime in Georgia, and yet when it comes to white supremacists opening fire, attempting to murder entire families, all of a sudden he is the softest on crime, the most cupcake, whipped cream filling, softest on crime you could ever meet. So it's going to be very important to do this. So for those of you who are in that area, Leesburg, Lee County, in particular, the sheriff's office. I want to know exactly where we need to be. For folk who are in that area, I want to know exactly where we need to be so that we can make very, very clear to all of them, we are watching you. It is not invisible. We're not going away. And we are going to demand that these people be charged with the felonies that they're supposed to be charged for and prosecuted and jailed for as long as possible. As you have set the standard in Texas, we are going to demand that you be consistent about that. And if you think that nobody is watching, you are woefully mistaken. Because we are watching. And more than just watching, we are going to make sure that you're clear that we are monitoring you in real time, and we are going to do it front and center. No behind the scenes stuff. We're going to raise their profile. If you were hoping that you could do this under the radar, you will not. If you were hoping you could do this below the radar, you will not. If you do commit white supremacy, you're going to have to do it on top of the table. You're going to have to explain to everybody why opening fire to murder people isn't a felony anymore. You're going to have to explain why opening fire to murder people, calling them niggers, is not a hate crime and is not a felony. You're going to have to explain why that is. Because so far, you and the Lee County Sheriff's Department don't seem to think that it is. And the local media is not bird dogging you to demand that you give an account of yourself and to make this the front page story. So since they are not doing their job to make it the front page story, many people would say that because they are white supremacist collaborators in the media, since they are refusing to make this a front page story, we are going to see what we can do to assist them in raising the priority of it. So in Lee County, Georgia, Leesburg, Mossy Oak Drive, Autumn Leaf Drive, the folk in that family, I want us to get a hold of them. So I'm calling out to all of you there. We need to get a hold of them. Where are the damn police reports? We need to have police reports about what's happening. To some of my lawyers out there that I talked to last week, you know, this is time for them, just in case Georgia starts trying to give any trouble about that. We need to have the police report so that they can show us what it was that they reported that doesn't rise to a hate crime and doesn't rise to a gun felony. How is it that the sheriff's department is on video that this guy opened fire and that's not a felony? That is not a firearm felony to charge him with. Aggravated assault, that's not a firearm felony? That's not attempted murder? You have it on video. How is it that that isn't all of a sudden? You all seem like white supremacists at this point. Maybe you thought you were going to fly below the radar. Our job is to prove them wrong. So if you all want to get active, if you want to get organized, this is it. This is it right here. And that's not the only one. Then there is this other one. As you'll all remember, this fella here in Tennessee, in Lebanon, Tennessee, this Robert Moore, another one who was immediately released after a shooting. He opened fire, attempted to commit murder, and District Attorney Jason Lawson, just like District Attorney Lewis Lamb, both of them together, are telling you that that's not a gun crime. It's not a hate crime, and it's not a gun crime. I highly suspect that once again, it is because these are suspected white supremacists and that they believe that they are going to execute white supremacy from the bench. The Klan took off their robes in the 60s and put on raggedy suits. And now that they are executing white supremacy from the bench, from the district attorney's office, from the sheriff's office, from the police department. And of course, the local media documenting, there's no question what happened anymore. They can't do a George Zimmerman. They can't pull a George Zimmerman and claim that we don't know what happened. You got these events on video, and what do you know? They're treating them exactly the same. Ain't no crime here. I mean, he just called you niggers and opened fire on you. He just called you niggers and started shooting at all of you. What's the big deal? Just called you niggers and started shooting at you. Well, Jason Lawson thinks that that's acceptable behavior and that that's really just a minor misdemeanor offense. So all of a sudden, gun crimes are minor things. All of a sudden, under Jason Lawson, a gun crime in the middle of the streets in Lebanon, Tennessee, opening fire on people, but all of a sudden, that's a minor offense. Since when did opening fire on people become a minor offense? Since when was it not treated as a capital felony gun crime? Well, right when District Attorney Jason Lawson thought that some black people could get killed by a white assailant. If some black folk can get murdered by a white assailant, all of a sudden District Attorney Jason Lawson says, no problem here, this is minor. Matter of fact, we'll let you out the same day. No big deal. You don't have to see a judge. You don't even have to see a judge to leave. Why, we can just go ahead and let you off on your own recognizance, pay a couple $100 here, and you can go. That's the way it was treated. You don't have to see a judge. You don't have to anything. You can go out, got turned in. Oh, well, he just opened fire in the middle of the street. He was trying to murder 2 people. Let's be clear about that. He was attempting to murder 2 people in the middle of the street. And Jason Lawson said, no problem here. So you're looking real white supremacist. So in Lebanon, Tennessee, my folk in Nashville's right down the road. Lebanon, Tennessee, we also want to know where the offices are for District Attorney Jason Lawson, so that we can go ahead and bring it to his attention that this is unacceptable. This is absolutely unacceptable. Wherever the town square is, wherever the town seat is, the courthouse, these are the things that we need to know. And we need to make it clear to them that we are not going to have business as usual. The only acceptable response is capital felonies. These are not assaults. This is attempted murder. This is not aggravated assault. This is not a misdemeanor. These are hate crimes. They are hate crimes and they are capital felonies. No, the so-called black bootlick politicians are in bed with the white supremacists. That's why you don't see me asking to call on any of them. If they were going to do something, we wouldn't have to say a word because they would already be on the damn job. Please understand, most of your so-called black politicians are chosen by the uniparty. The Democrats and Republicans are a uniparty. They select their black bootlicks. And then they go send them in there to buck dance, snort cocaine, give out their feminist sociology talking points, but to otherwise allow white supremacy to run amok. Their job is to calm down the disgruntled black masses in the streets. That's the purpose of the so-called black politicians. That's why we're not looking to them. That's why we're dealing with this ourselves. The way that we have in all these other places, the way that we did in Dallas, Texas with Amber Geiger, the way that we did in Louisville with Breonna Taylor, the way that we did in New York with Robert Brooks. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. But we need folk on the ground. So to my people in Tennessee, particularly in Nashville, Lebanon, I need to know where we're going at with this. I need to know where we're going at. I need to know where they're at. I need to know where the offices are. We need to know where they are. And if the media is not saying anything, we need to make sure we rattle them as well. I want us to get in touch with, I'm not sure who these people are that this Robert Moore assaulted. But whoever the folk are that he assaulted, I want to get in touch with them. I want to get in touch with these folk that he assaulted. Absolutely unacceptable. This barbarian, this Neanderthal suspected white supremacist barbarian, who I believe was emboldened by Chud the Builder in Tennessee. I believe that he was emboldened by that, and a proper investigation, I am certain, will reveal it. So I want to know who these folks were that he assaulted. We're talking about in Lebanon. These ain't really small places like that anymore. So these caveman Neanderthals, I want to know who these people were that they assaulted. And I want to know who the family was that these white supremacist cavemen assaulted and attempted to murder in Leesburg, Georgia. My email address is theblackauthority@yahoo.com. It is theblackauthority@yahoo.com. But I am not content to simply sit and watch. I am not content to simply sit and watch. That is not what's going to occur here, brothers and sisters from around the world. No, when I said we're going to get active, I meant we're going to get active. So, brothers and sisters, it is incumbent on us to get copies of the police reports. It is incumbent on us to get in touch with the district attorney's offices in Leesburg and in Lebanon, in Leesburg, Georgia, and Lebanon, Tennessee. So while I am broadcasting right now, I am calling on all of you to get in touch with their offices now. It's 10:30 a.m. Central Time. So it's around 11:30 East Coast time. I'm calling on you to get in touch with them now. We want police reports. We want the district attorney to give an account of why it is that they are not being charged with felonies and attempted murder. That's the information that we want, and we want to get contact information for the families who have been assaulted. That's what we want, and I'm calling on you all to do that now. Not tomorrow, not in an hour, not next week. Their week at these district attorneys' offices are just getting started, and we are going to kick it off here with some fireworks for them. So good thing they showed up here. Hope they brought their lunch pail. But in any case, this is something I want us to move on now. So in Lebanon, Tennessee, District Attorney Jason Lawson, who sees a gun crime. District Attorney Jason Lawson sees a gun crime and apparently does not think that's a felony. And in Lee County, Georgia, District Attorney Lewis Lamb witnesses a white supremacist hate crime and then doesn't think that that's either a felony or a hate crime. So I think it's because they believe that nobody's really watching and that this is a local story. And what's the realistic chances that this could be Ahmaud Arbery Part 2, where the McMichaels got themselves indicted? What's the realistic possibility that anybody's really monitoring it and really watching it? So, folks, I want you to go to Google. I want you to go look up the offices and the numbers there for Lewis Lamb in Lee County in Georgia. They get appointed there, so it's actually a region that Lee County is one of the regions that he represents. And in Tennessee, for District Attorney Jason Lawson, he's also appointed. So it's actually, as you can see, he serves Jackson, Macon, Smith, Trousdale, and Wilson County. So it isn't just one area. It isn't just one area, but that's okay because they're up against B1 here. So I want you all to work on that now. I want the police department, or in this case, the sheriff's department, Lebanon, Tennessee, Lee County, Georgia. We want to get copies of the police reports, since the local media there apparently cannot be bothered to do so, because that's what these folks count on. They count on the local media just going along with it and rolling along with it. Okay, by my email, I got somebody who says that they're a member of the family. Ma'am, if you can hit the Zoom link, it's pinned on the chat room. You say you're a member of the family there in Leesburg. If you can hit the Zoom link in the chat room, I'll keep you anonymous if you need to be, but go ahead and call me up on Zoom there. The link is there on the chat room. You see where it says call us on Zoom with the lightning bolt. I want you to go ahead and call us for that. I want you to go ahead and hit us for that. Go ahead and hit the Zoom link for me and give me a call up here. I want to have a talk with you. Not tomorrow, not an hour from now. I want to talk to you now. I want to do this now. I do not want to sit on this. I don't want to wait on it. I want to do this now. While I got everybody here, while everybody is together, because I want to talk to folk about what we are going to do now. Not next week, not next year, not next month, right now. Because we see what's going on and we see what's happening. They believe that they are going to bury these things. It's very obvious what they're doing is business as usual. They think it's going to be business as usual. And I want to talk to the family here. I do want to talk to the folk and also in Lebanon, Tennessee. I want to talk to the folk in Lebanon, Tennessee also. That's very important to me. I want to get in touch with them. I want to get in touch with them. I want to get in touch with them and see what was going on there. I want to get in touch with them and talk to them. Because once again, very ominously, you have prosecutors and district attorneys who don't think that opening fire on people in the middle of a street attempting to murder them, they don't think it's a felony, don't think it's a gun crime, don't really seem to think it's very much anything there. It's like, okay, so this is all right. And my whole thing is, okay, if that's going to be the rule, then that just needs to be the rule for everybody. If it's going to be gunfight at the OK Corral in the middle of Main Street, then don't come jumping up later when you all take the worst end of it. This idea that white supremacists open fire and here comes the district attorney to protect them and run interference for them. But if you lay them down in the middle of the street, here comes the district attorney. Oh, that's murder. That's not self-defense. Carmelo, that's not self-defense. So this idea that the district attorneys will be the district attorneys for white supremacy, yeah, there's the issue that you have right there. So if you're going to act this way, you have to act this way across the board. If it's going to be gunfight at the OK Corral, and if it's going to be Wyatt Earp and whatnot at the OK Corral, well, then it just needs to be that. And you will be required to stand by that. And when you start getting the worst end of it, and things go horribly wrong, like they do in professional sports, like they do in entertainment, like they do in movies. You know, when you're on the worst end of it across the board, and get outperformed across the board, once again, you'll be expected to sit there and do exactly what you're doing right now and say, well, I mean, it's really not an issue there, Metcalf. This is how we do things here now, you know. So it needs to be that. It needs to be that. That's the energy I'm talking about. That's what I'm looking for. That's the energy I'm talking about. Right there. Okay, I got folks sending me emails about this. I got folks sending me emails about some of these cases here. That's cool and everything. If y'all can hit me up on Zoom, I'd appreciate that. I know they're listening. If y'all can hit me up on Zoom, I'd appreciate that. Because it's not something I want to get around to later. This is something I want to get started on here now. So I don't have an issue with calling people. That's not the part I have an issue with there. I'm just saying while we are here right now, because I want to move on. I want to talk to folk right now. I want to move on it right this minute. Folks are saying, Jason, what are y'all doing? What are we acting on? How quick are we moving? I'm moving on it quick right now. Like right here, right now. Right this second. Right here, right now, right this second. I'm not talking about going to other places. I'm not talking about focusing on side issues. I'm talking about doing it right now. In the chat room, they're posting up the information there about Louis Lamb. So for those of you who want that, they're posting up the information there about Louis Lamb's office. We want to post up about Louis Lamb's office and also Jason Lawson's office. So for those of you in Lebanon, Tennessee, that's very important to me also. They're in Lebanon. Matter of fact, because understand something, a decade ago, I told everybody about that. I made the definitive documentary Gentrified. I told the world about what was happening in Tennessee. And the reason that most people did not know what was happening in Tennessee because they were trying to keep that quiet as kept. They did not want people to know what was happening in Davidson County. Most people did not have any idea what was happening there. None whatsoever. So when I saw what was happening in Nashville, Tennessee, that the rest of the world was completely oblivious to, I called it to everybody's attention. And while everybody talked about Davidson County, what they didn't realize was about places like Mount Juliet and Lebanon. So up that I-40 corridor. Folks who don't live in that area or are not familiar with the Nashville area or the Davidson County area, even if they were familiar with Nashville and the Tennessee Titans, they may have not been familiar with what was happening in Davidson County, but not familiar with what was happening in Wilson County, right next to it. So they're not really familiar about, the happenings in Mount Juliet or up the road in Lebanon. Lebanon has been a big beneficiary of the expansion of Nashville, Tennessee. So basically what Frisco and Plano became to Dallas, Texas, that's essentially what you got going on in Mount Juliet and Lebanon. So you have some race warriors out there, would-be race warriors, if you will, and they are very unhappy about these things. You've had a large influx of Yankees come down from New York and New Jersey into Davidson County. Okay, but you've also had a certain number of black folk moving up from Atlanta, because they go to a no income tax state. So you had a number of folk move up from Atlanta going into Tennessee. So they've gone to Nashville, but a lot of them have gone, taken some of their money, and they out in the suburbs or out in these outlying areas, they're outside of Nashville. So if you were not aware, there's been a significant number of folks who come down from the north, but also a significant number of black folk leaving Atlanta and moving on up into Nashville. So they'll either go west to Nashville, Davidson County, Wilson County, or go east to Charlotte, Fayetteville, North Carolina. You see a few of them in Charleston, but really the big movement going east will be into Charlotte and Fayetteville. So really, that's where the big movement will be. And if you're not familiar with it or hadn't seen that, that's what's going on there. So there's been a number of folks who have been trying to protect their turf militaristically and terrorist style. So that's why you see things like this occurring. You have individuals who obviously are emboldened by their good old boys at the district attorney's office and by the acquiescence of the local media, who is supposed to have a constitutional mandate and obligation to report in the public interest, but instead are running cover. You see, the issue is citizen journalists. The issue is citizens covering these things. The local television station wouldn't have even shown this kind of footage. But because you have everybody running around with cameras today, it makes it impossible to ignore it. So what the media instead tries to do at your broadcast stations is they attempt to minimize it. They'll report that the story happened, say that there was an arrest, and then say, all right, everybody go back to work again. It doesn't matter if there was an arrest if all they're going to do is immediately release the assailant. If they're just going to release the assailant, then that doesn't fix anything and that doesn't address anything. There's the problem. So if the assailant is not going to be jailed and kept there, and if we're not going to follow up on that, then it does no good. It does no good. So don't be deceived by the local media. The local newspaper, the local television station, the local radio station, they all start to become accomplices with it. When they start encouraging the silence of it, they're reporting it once and then sweep it up under the rug and then try to hurry up and rush through a plea deal. And then they never talk about, hey, there was this guy who opened fire. He opened gunfire in the middle of a street, assaulted a woman. Me too. Believe all women. Give up your NFL career. I mean, what happened to that? By the way, shouldn't this guy be getting treated like that? Hey, take a look at him. This fella here, I mean, he's assaulting a woman in the middle of the street. He's assaulting a woman in the middle of the street. Shouldn't he be getting the Epstein treatment? The Bill Cosby treatment? Every time they try to do something to a professional athlete, shouldn't he be getting that treatment? Look how he treats women. I mean, you got him on video in the middle of the damn street. Look how he treats women. And apparently, District Attorney Jason Lawson says, that's the right way to treat women. And I'm just saying, okay, if that's going to be the rule, then this is the energy you need to have for everybody. This guy assaulted a woman in the middle of the street. He had a gun. Let me be clear about that. He assaulted a woman, middle of the street, had a gun, opens fire. And District Attorney Jason Lawson said, no problem here. No big issue. Just go on home and walk it off. And according to him, that wasn't a problem. According to him, that was not an issue. So I'm just saying from here on in, okay, there's the rule. The district attorney will be required to respond this way to all incidents. If you run up, you're calling folks racial epithets, you open fire on them, we will expect him to respond to all of them the same. You will not be allowed to pick and choose and wait now. Oh, the Negroes actually got a few of them. Oh, that seems like a murder charge to me. Okay, that's the whole thing you're taking a look at. Whether these are things that you get up front or even if you have to file a request for them, we want to do that. We want to do that. Oh, there is outrage about it. There's outrage about it right here. I have folks emailing me about this stuff. By the way, while I was talking to you all, I've also responded to their emails. I haven't gotten back from them yet. So, folks, that's the kind of thing that does not help. There's where we get into trouble about this. This is how it ends up being stuck like that. This is how it ends up being stuck like that. By the way, one more thing. I'm only looking for the folks I'm talking to here. If you decide to take it upon yourself to say, by the way, I think there's something else you need to see here, Jason, you're going to get blocked. So just understand that. This is not general purpose. I'm zeroed in on just these things. This is not about, well, Jason, I think we need to talk about this other thing over here. It turns out unwell. It turns out unwell. So we're only focusing on just this. We're not sitting up here. People, don't let your ADHD get you blocked. Don't do it. Bad idea. Don't let it get you blocked. We're focusing on this over here. You want to get amped up about something? Get amped up about what I told you to do. That's what you do. You want to get amped up about something? You don't get amped up being random. This is not the time to start exhibiting some of them childhood issues. This is not the time to be random. This is the time to be focused like a laser beam. L&L, Lebanon, Leesburg. Lebanon, Tennessee, Leesburg, Georgia. I've been saying it now, going on over the past half an hour. Lebanon, Leesburg. Lebanon, Leesburg. Lewis Lawson. Lewis Lamb, Jason Lawson, L. They all taking L's. They all taking L's. We got all L's Monday going on here. Leesburg, Lebanon, Lewis, Lawson, Lamb. This is it. So to everybody who is listening to me here right now, they've been putting up the contact information in there. The sheriff's office needs to be asked about why they have not been doing felonies. The district attorney's office, why are these not felonies? Why are these not hate crimes? How are they being released on a few $1,000s bond? How is it that a gun crime can get you released for a few $1,000s bond? And then last but not least, wherever the district attorney's offices are, that needs to be the place for the pull-up. So I'm going to be getting in touch with some of y'all here in a little bit so that I can make my contribution to it. So I'm not going to be on terribly long today. Not terribly long today, but by the way, just so you all know, I'm not playing around. I'm not playing any games. To folks sending me emails and stuff, don't tell me you're members of the family and we ain't proving it there. So as you can tell, I'm not a person who gets very easily, excited or very easily led on. That's not me. So if you say something, I'm going to follow up behind it. So if that's not really who you are, I'm going to find out very, very quickly. But no, getting a hold of me is not hard. Getting a hold of me is not hard. Getting a hold of me is not difficult. And I just want the rest of y'all to see that when I go to work on these things, this is how this happens. Please understand that. But one more thing, the same rules apply. The same rules apply. Do not expect me to be or to get more motivated about these issues than the alleged victims are. If the victims are unconcerned, if they're apathetic, if they're low-key, low energy, if they're not concerned about it, I will not be more concerned or more active than they are. So if they're passive and hitting the joint, and okay, if it's that going on, we're like, okay, well, y'all fend for yourselves down there in Leesburg, but as you can tell, they're opening fire on you, and the district attorney is running interference. So just so you be aware, by the way, they busting on you, and the district attorney is like, hey, let me wait to see if they get you. That's what the district attorney is. He's sitting back to wait and see if they get you. So you play with this at your own peril. They are obviously not playing with you. Let me go ahead and jump over here on Zoom right quick. I think I got one of the folks who called me on Zoom. Is this B?
Hey, yeah, Jason, this B.
All right, B, you say you know the family?
Yeah, the father whose house it was, that's my best friend.
Okay.
And
did they tell you about what happened?
Yeah, I talked to him Saturday. I didn't call him immediately when it happened because I know, it was hectic. I waited a few days and we talked for about an hour Saturday. And yeah, he told me everything that happened.
Okay. Did they know this guy?
It was their neighbor.
Okay. Well, once again, something that the media didn't say.
Right.
The media didn't say this is the damn neighbor. Okay.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So I tell y'all about these cases when it happens, the media will have you believing it's some random stranger or whatever. It's the folk right next door. It's the folk 2 houses down and probably been having problems out of him already.
Right.
I find it difficult to believe this is his first time acting up.
Right. But honestly, that area, Jason, is nice. But that Lee County area is the area that, the other race of people built to get away from black people in Albany.
Right. It's a white flight area, and too many of you were able to find a mortgage. There were too many of you who got approved for a mortgage. So since the banks won't redline you and keep you out. They're going to Ku Klux Klan tactics.
Yeah, right. Pretty much. Yeah.
Well, brother, can you get in touch with them?
Yeah, I can.
I want to get in touch with them. I want to talk to them. I know because the district attorney obviously is not taking this seriously, and I want to help the district attorney understand the gravity of the situation.
Right. Yeah, I can definitely get in touch with him. Like I said, that's my best friend. We communicate, often.
Now, the fellow who was on the news, did you know him?
Yeah, it was his wife's family. It was like a family reunion celebration for their grandmother. That's his wife's cousin.
Okay, so these are elderly people out there and everything else, and the local white supremacists decide to do that. So,
right.
Let's hear about South Side of Chicago. Let's hear about that, because they would have you sit up here and believe all this gangland shooting and stuff. Okay, what about this?
Exactly.
What about this right here? These folk are not in trouble. They're not doing anything wrong. They're just trying to enjoy their civil rights. And here comes the local white supremacists to say, by the way, welcome to gangland rules. And unlike Chicago, a district attorney supporting them and running interference. Now, this is where things get real crazy. The district attorney is sitting right there saying, what felony? So, brother, if you can get them in touch with me, I want to go ahead and do that.
All right. Just send them your email.
I mean, yeah, you can get my email. If you get a hold of them, whatnot, I can see about getting you a phone number you can call.
Okay, yeah, I got direct access to them. I'll text them and let them know.
Okay, well, if you got a number that they can be reached at, just email that to me. If you can let them know that I want to get in touch with them, if you can give me a number they can be reached at, I'll reach out to them right now.
All right, at the Black Authority.
The Black Authority at yahoo.com. The Black Authority at yahoo.com.
All right, I'll send you his info shortly, man.
Thank you very much, brother, for getting in touch with us. Yeah, brothers, just like that. Quick, fast, and in a hurry, service with a smile.
Welcome to Get Burger.
Ready to get served. So, just that quickly. That's exactly what I'm on. Playing no games. Not pussyfooting around. I'm not any of that. I want to get in touch with all the principals. I want to get in touch with all the folk involved. I want to go ahead and talk to them. I want to get straight to it because we know what the hell's going on. We know what is going on here. If they are serious about moving on this, I'm going to show you how serious I can get about moving on it. If they're serious, I'm that serious. I can be in Nashville in 6-7 hours. I can be in Nashville in 6 or 7 hours. Real talk. So we can be on the ground within less than a work day. I think nothing of that. I think nothing of it. For the folks who are serious. Anyway, like I say, allegedly one of the members of the family emailed me, and I ain't heard from them yet here, so I don't know if they catch me on their lunch break or something. Not sure. Let's get serious. And in Lebanon, Tennessee, like I say, that one's a big one for me right there, because this is the white supremacists. I suspected white supremacists in this area here. If you look into this Robert Moore's background, I can practically guarantee you white supremacist, incel, Nick Fuentes viewer. I can pretty much guarantee you that. He looks like a Nick Fuentes viewer. He looks like a Daily Wire watcher. He looks like a Megyn Kelly, listener. He looks like a Bill O'Reilly type person. He's dirty. He's scruffy. And there's no problem with being dirty and scruffy, but when you combine with white supremacists, it's like, oh, you are a Neanderthal. You're not working man dirty, you're a Neanderthal. You are a savage. You're a barbarian. And apparently, the district attorney for Wilson County has a soft spot in his heart, quotations heart, for barbarians and savages. So if that's going to be the case, I just think that everyone in Tennessee needs to be aware that District Attorney Jason Lawson has a soft spot in his heart for fellas who assault women in the middle of the street with a gun and open fire in the middle of Tennessee. I just want folks to understand, the issue isn't Robert Moore. The issue is District Attorney Jason Lawson. This guy right here. He's the problem. These other folk are just enabled by him. But they're the minions. This is the ringleader. This is the ringleader. Right here. So that's the thing I'm taking a look at. They're not doing that for no reason. They're not doing that for no reason. In the chat room, Flex Water, what do I have to be careful about? Give me a call up on Zoom. Let me know what I have to be careful about. What do I have to be careful about? Tell Flex Water to give me a call up on Zoom. You got 2 minutes. That's not a suggestion. That's not a request. I need to be careful. You know what? I'm so glad you made that suggestion. You need to call me up and inform me about what I need to be, quote, careful about. Because when you're combating white supremacy, that's called the year of living dangerously. So apparently Flexwater thinks I need to be careful. Well, I think you need to call me up and explain to me what I'm being dangerous about. Let's go ahead and get to that. So I will carefully accept your call on Zoom in the next 2 minutes. And you can explain to me exactly what it is that I need to be, quote, careful about. Since I need to be careful, let me explain something to you. I've been doing this summers and winters. Let me explain something to you. They killed our fathers and our mothers for far less than this. Far less than what I'm doing right now. They killed our fathers and our mothers for far less than this. Most of them have died off and are gone now. The ones who didn't get murdered, the real riders got killed. Now, guess what? They killed all of them. So those of us who were the children in the back, the children at the back of the train, when the real riders were up front taking the bullets, guess what? All of us are at the front of the train now. All of us are front line. With a bunch of children and babies behind us. Now it's our turn to take point. It ain't safe up here. That's what goes along with being in a damn war zone. It ain't safe up here. It ain't safe. I can't even say if you're scared, go to church. They bombing the churches. They burning the churches. They stealing the AC units at the churches. They targeting the churches. You in the damn war zone talking about where it's safe. Oh, man. Where's the day spa? Hey, where can I get a pedicure on this battlefield? They shooting and bombing. Where can I get my toes done? Get my feet rubbed? We got niggas trying to order a margarita in a war zone. And then looking at me crazy because I'm suited up in camo fatigues. Look at them, damn him, all suited up, acting like you're going to war. You need to be careful. I'm in a war zone. You have to be careful. Don't you want to be where it's safe? It's not safe. I am trying to create a safe place. It's not safe. That's precisely the problem. Somebody got to take the point and confront the hazards and pacify this thing so that there can be safety. But you ain't gonna make it safe sitting in the damn back, hiding behind the skirts of the women and the toys of the children. This is what happens in a day and age when niggas is used to sitting on their damn computers and on their cell phones and everything is an Instagram reel and a TikTok reel and a YouTube short. You watch so much television, you expect all your issues to be resolved in 30 minutes. And your only contribution is just to sit there and spectate. You sit there and watch, and everything will be taken care of for you. No, it ain't safe when you hit the front line. No, it's not safe when you pick up that phone. No, it's not safe when you reach out to these folks. No, it's not safe when you let them know you're watching. I'm saying that to all of you. But then again, assuming you ain't a Fed, folks, you've been on the front line, whether you knew it or not. What? Every single one of you in here, the surveillance state was installed decades ago. I don't mean decades ago with 9/11 and the Patriot Act, oh slow nigga. I'm talking about all the way back to J. Edgar Hoover. Remember, they were watching the Black Panthers back when they were in that hardware store in Oakland. They were watching them then. A bunch of teenagers, and they were watching them then. No internet. No phone tapping, no satellite surveillance required. They were watching them then, and they were watching the Nation of Islam before them, and Booker T. Washington before that, and Frederick Douglass and the slaves on the plantations before that. You've had a surveillance state the whole damn time, and you sitting on the internet pretending that you can hide from it. That's delusion. That's fantasy. They know every single person in here. They got your IP. They got your name. They got your MAC address. For those of you who don't know how computers and cell phones work, you don't just have an IP address given to you by the internet company. Every device you use has what's called a machine address or a MAC address. A MAC ID. Your laptop, your cell phones, your desktop, your tablets. It has a MAC address. They know exactly what machine you are on. Don't believe me? I worked in internet services. I worked in IT. I know I worked in telecommunications for all these companies. I'm telling you what we monitored on a daily basis. So you have a serial number that for your cell phone, yeah, but that doesn't matter. You have a MAC address. They know where the machine is, and they can identify the specific machine. Go into your computers and type in on the command prompt, type in ipconfig, IPCONFIG, and you'll be able to pull up your IP address and your MAC address. Well, guess what? All the internet companies and law enforcement can see that. They can see that information. What you mean you're hiding? Oh, you just, this is new information to you. Well, this is the way it's been since day one. And don't delude yourself into thinking that a VPN will protect you. Only the real naive people think that VPNs protect them. Yeah, the really silly people think that internet companies and websites can't tell when you're using a VPN. The really silly people think that. And the silliest people think that they can't track through a VPN to get through those clients to be able to get to your machine. Those are the silliest people. The silliest people think that you have the ability to connect to a website, but a VPN is hiding you and fooling the world and got you somewhere else. Those are the really silly people. The very silliest people think VPNs are hiding their location. Yeah. Uh-huh. Right. Okay, believe whatever you want to believe. They got VPNs that they're advertising on TV. You think that's defeating the federal government while you're using their internet system. You're using their internet system, but talking about my VPN hides me on their internet system. You're not using your own internet system. You're using their internet network. Don't worry, my VPN is hiding me while I use their network. Well, who owns the routers for the network that you're connecting through? I mean, they do, but don't worry. I'm hidden. Okay. So, nigga, where you hiding? See, this is how folks sit up here and get arrested and be looking around all crazy, don't know how the hell it happened. They think they got an anonymous phone. They think they got an anonymous computer. They think they got a crypto wallet. They think they're hidden. This is why they look crazy. Y'all like, why in the hell did he get caught? He probably did do some things he thought was hiding him. He believed that garbage they put on these internet ads. I got a VPN. I put my phone in airplane mode. I turn my phone off. I put tape over the camera. How'd they find me? I don't know how they found me. Sitting on the first 48 looking crazy as hell. Sitting on the first 48 looking crazy as hell. How many of y'all done put in your telephone calls? We're an hour in. We are an hour in. How many of you have put in your telephone calls? If you have, give me the phone emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. How many of you done put in your work today? How many of you have called Lewis Lamb and Jason Lawson? If you have, give me the phone emoji in the chat room. Give me the telephone emoji in the chat room. I want to know who has done more than just giving damn mean lip service. And particularly the young people in here. Those of you under the age of 25, you need to be super active because you're the ones they're targeting. They're targeting you more than anybody. You sitting up waiting for the old niggas to protect you so you can be lax. You need to be super active. Do not sit up here and wait for these older folks to be your first line of defense. You have to be a person who gets conditioned and gets practiced and makes it a routine to defend yourself, to advocate for yourself, to go rattle these folk for yourself. Because it's not so much that they're strong, it's that they're used to doing things behind the cover. Remember, all it took was some people telling Donald Trump that we want to show the Epstein files, and they brought a sitting president of the United States to his knees. They brought a sitting, shameless whoremonger of a president to his knees, not with guns, not with bombs, not with threats of physical violence, but simply to say that what you've been doing in the dark, we want to bring to the light. And that one thing, he could deal with folks shooting at him. He could deal with bombs. He could deal with guns. He could deal with poison, chemical warfare. What he could not deal with was people saying, by the way, we want to show this thing you've been doing and make it public. That broke him down. That broke him down. In the chat room, calling from the UK, I don't know, use a VPN or something. What do they call it? A VoIP, not a VPN, a VoIP. Use a VoIP. Okay, Jason, what are you over here doing? I'm over here getting active. Over here getting active right quick. Hopefully you gave him my name. I'm hoping you gave him my name. At least I hope so. At least I hope so. Okay. I'm sending some text messages over here. So, no, I'm not bull jiving. I'm not playing around. No, I'm not waiting. I'm not letting the grass grow under my feet. I'm not stalling. I ain't nothing. I'm over here multitasking. Y'all are doing things. Guess what? So am I. I'm over here multitasking right now. I got 3 computers and 2 cell phones over here. So I'm multitasking right now. I'm going through email. I'm going through text messages. So, by the way, just in case you think I'm just sitting over here doing nothing, no, I'm multitasking right now. While I'm talking to you all, while I'm doing this, I'm multitasking right now. We all we got, and we're the only advocates that we have. The politicians are checked out. Hell, the black politicians are on the side of the white supremacists. Politicians are on the side of the white supremacists. What are you supposed to say when you ring the line? You're supposed to ask. It depends on which one you're calling. If it's Lebanon, Tennessee, you are calling to ask about why it is that Robert Moore was not charged with a felony for a gun crime. If it's Leesburg, why is it that Kinzer was not charged with a gun crime? That's what the hell we're looking for. This Kinzer fella, why is it he was not charged with a gun crime now that you're finding out that he was a neighbor? Jeffrey Kinzer, why is he not being charged with a gun crime and a hate crime? This is public safety. Let them know that you are concerned about public safety. Why is the district attorney being soft on crime? This is a hate crime and a felony gun crime. Why is Jeffrey Kinzer a known violent assailant? Why is it that he is not being charged with a hate crime and a gun crime? In the state of Georgia, they have hate crimes. So how is it that somehow he's committed a hate crime and is evading it? By the way, same thing for Tennessee. Tennessee has hate crime legislation. So, folks, this is not a matter of getting legislation in. These district attorneys are saying, well, you can pass the laws, but can you get us to enforce them? Well, we'll target you Negroes with it. So this is really about exposing the white supremacists, but you got to get them to do something. Now you did it. Now you've done it. Now that you've jumped out there and done something that we can actually point to and say, there it is. There it is. I'd like to say one more thing here. I'd like to say one more thing to my folks there in Leesburg and whatnot. When Andrew Cuomo did not want to move to make laws to criminalize false allegations against people, I made sure that I got together with Lamar Billboards and put a welcome sign at the foot of the Williamsburg Bridge with his name on it, and he became a one-term governor.
And deal with it.
When Andrew Cuomo refused to criminalize making false allegations, by the way, and allegations eventually wound up helping to drive him from office after I was done, I made sure that there was a very large welcome sign put at the foot of the Williamsburg Bridge. Made headlines, made the news, made a stir, made them leave. Drunk Uncle Lightfoot up there in Chicago. I guess she figured that the only thing she had to worry about is if the Budweiser people stopped delivering the Thunderbird. Well, she also should have looked around and realized that, by the way, Jason Black has set aside an advertising budget. And I'm coming to town. Well, you know, I just think it might be about time to see if we can identify, I don't know, one or two, I guess it's a relative term, major thoroughfares in the Lee County Leesburg area. Might be time to go ahead and see if we can identify maybe a major thoroughfare in that area there, so we can post up. Since the local media may not be as interested in public safety as the rest of us are, the local media might be carrying a grudge or a problem with confronting public safety for the rest of us, with a district attorney who is running interference for domestic terrorists in Leesburg. So in Leesburg, that seems to be an issue for them, is defending domestic terrorists around there. So, and I suspect what's driving it is they think they're not being seen. I think that's got something to do with it. I think that does. I think it does. Okay, folks, what I'm going to do here, I want to play one of these news pieces here for you. I want to play one for you here. I want y'all to see this. While you're doing that, I'm going to be straight up. While you're doing that, I got something I want to cover here. I'm going to see if I can do something on this now. Maybe something else is going on. We're going to see, but I'm not going to let the grass grow under my feet. Can't afford to do that. That's not the game we're playing. So let me go ahead and do that for you all here, and I'll be right back with you.
A Lee County family is speaking out, recalling the terrifying moments when they say a man armed with an AR-style rifle opened fire on their family reunion. And thank you for joining us at 5 o'clock. I'm Greg Lloyd.
And I'm Carla Heat Sands.
Now, that shooting happened Sunday evening on Autumn Leaf Drive in Leesburg. The Lee County Sheriff's Office says Jeffrey Tyler Kinzer shot at partygoers after a verbal altercation occurred. No one in the family was reportedly injured, and Kinzer was shot after a family member returned fire.
He was charged with aggravated assault. WAOB News 10's Mariah Norman sits down with a witness who says their family was racially targeted.
This family says they were celebrating a birthday and spending time together before a man they identify as a neighbor pulled up and opened fire with an AR-style rifle. Witnesses say the family was gathered outside for a reunion Sunday night when a car drove by. A white man who witnesses say was Jeffrey Tyler Kinzer was inside the car yelling racial slurs at the group.
And he's talking junk and he started yelling the N-word. He kept going, so we let him go. And we were just discussing what just happened, why he tripping.
But Green says Kinzer came back, this time wearing armor and carrying a rifle. Oh my God!
And then that's when everybody started running. He got a gun. All the kids, they was making sure the kids get in the house. And people started taking positions because they seen he had a gun. And I was in the middle of the street. That's when he raised it and fired. Boom. And I grabbed my gun and started returning fire and moving with him.
Green says he's a Marine veteran. He says he was willing to defend his family, including children and older adults who were present.
It was so hurtful. I cried all night. I'm laying outside on the ground through a shootout under a car with my other auntie, my other sister, who is 77, and I'm 62.
The investigation is ongoing. Officials say more charges are expected to come.
Okay, more charges. We ain't just looking for more charges. We're looking for the right ones. We're not looking for more charges. We're looking for the right ones. So it's very, very important. And once again, with this story, this goes for everybody here. Everybody, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. We've been telling you about this for years. Nobody should have to be told at this point. Whether it's Carmelo Anthony or whether it's this family here, you move into these white suburbs, you move into these white neighborhoods, and telling yourself, oh, well, we didn't left the hood behind. We're going to be okay. And it's like, okay, these with the idea of as long as you're not in the black neighborhood, you'll be safe. It's like, okay. Well, explain this then. Explain this. So you have to be ready and prepared at all times. You are the first and last line of defense because if the police show up, they're going to be aiming at you. What? If the police show up, please understand they will step past the Kyle Rittenhouse who is accosting you and assaulting you and shooting at you. The police will take positions next to the Kyle Rittenhouse. They will take positions next to him. Even though he is the one assaulting you, they will very quickly come in and join to help him to do so. So you will be your first and most likely only line of defense. And this goes not just for you, but for you, your children, your parents, everybody around you. And this goes for men and women. This goes for men and women. How many of the women in here in the chat room, for the women, if you are a woman who has been to a gun range, give me the fire emoji in the chat room. If you are a female who's actually been, not just been the one visiting, sitting around looking at folk, trying to look all sexy and cute in the corner. If you've been to a gun range and actually shot a gun, you've actually pulled the trigger and bullets came exploding out of the front of it. Give me the fire emoji in the chat room. Okay, I see more flames up in here than the first day in hell. I see more flames in here in the barbecue pit. I said for the women, I got some dudes in here. Do I count? I wear a G-string. What? I said about the women, I see some dudes. And they thought that was, I literally said for the women and some fellas. Well, Jay's not on the camisole. Does that count? Okay, I'm bringing that up because for the women up in here, yes, I do want the men to be prepared, but for the women, please remember they consider you to be soft targets. They consider you to be soft targets. Now, I see a bunch of females in here putting up their fire emojis. That's great. That's grand. That's wonderful. How many women in here have a concealed carry permit? If you are a female, if you were born with a set of ovaries and 2 X chromosomes, give me the pencil emoji in the chat room. If you are a female who has a concealed carry permit, because I see a bunch of flames, okay, do you have a concealed carry permit? If you do, I want to see, give me a pencil emoji in the chat room. I see a bunch of flames. I'm wondering if I see a bunch, if everybody got their pencils too. I wonder if everybody has their pencils too. You got your Kit Kats, but do you have your pencils? You might have a Kit Kat, but do you have your pencils? Because if you are out there and you are by yourself, please understand that's the game the white supremacists are playing. We want to see if we can catch you. We want to see if we can catch you. We want to see if we can catch you slipping. We want to see if we can catch you unarmed. Can we catch you dry? Can we catch you the wrong way? So please understand, for the women, you got a man with you, that's good. But my thing is, there's a bunch of y'all and some of you I've met. Now, here's the next thing. Some of y'all I met and I know damn well You walking around, no candy bar, no nothing. So, by the way, I see some of y'all in here false flagging. I see some of y'all in here false flagging. Because you claim you carrying, you claim you got a permit, and I've been around some of you, and you ain't got nothing on you. So let's just keep it 100. I ain't gonna say no names to put you on Front Street, but the fact I'm saying this lets you know, oh, okay. I've been around some of you, and you ain't carrying anything. So all that big talk, you can post whatever you want to in the chat room. It's like, by the way, okay, that's not going to protect you in real life. That's not going to do you any good in real life. It really ain't. So, yeah. There are folk out here, I want you to understand, that is mandatory. That is mandatory. Okay, let me ask one more thing here for everybody in here. How many of you in here have disassembled, cleaned, oiled, and reassembled your firearms? I'm not talking about in the military. I'm talking about the ones you claim you got. And if I see some of y'all say, yes, you have, I'm going to make you call up and explain to me the procedure. Damn. I'm going to have you give me the make and model of your gun, and you're going to explain to me the procedure for disassembling, cleaning, and oiling and reassembling it. Because there's a bunch of y'all and whatnot. That thing ain't been cleaned up since you bought it. Dust and cobwebs, and you just praying it'll work if you need it to. Oh boy. All right, there you go. All right, I'm not going to say no names. It's like, oh, here's where the rubber meets the road right here. Yeah, everybody can go buy one, but some of these women are maintaining their guns like they do their cars. What? Damn! Auntie, chill! Yeah, some of these chicks, you bought the gun, you've been to the gun range, but you maintaining your guns like you do your cars. Yeah, the tires got wires showing. The AC unit works sometimes. You change the oil when the car starts jerking. You change the brake pads when the car starts wobbling when you step on the brakes. Y'all change the brake pads, that's when you change. Why the car shaking? And if somebody run up on you, that's the conditions you're going to be having a gunfight in? Really? Never change your air filters. Never change your cabin air filters. The car smells like leaves, and I don't mean weeds. So I haven't changed nothing. Okay. She didn't change the spark plugs to that morning the car wouldn't start up. Now she got to replace the heads on it. These women maintaining their guns like they do their cars. Well, Jason, I bought one. Okay, baby, I got that part. That's a good start, but you know it's more to it than that. It is. Y'all got the little cute guns with the pink barrel on it. It fits right next to your makeup kit. I'm like, okay, baby, I get that. I'm going to let that slide. Have you been treating it like a gun, or have you been treating it like an accessory for your shoes? The women are sitting there. Does this match my Fenty?
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
Fellas, y'all be with a chick and you'd be like, okay, well, I didn't bring my piece, but she got hers, nigga. Okay. You think something go down, you can reach in her purse. You grabbed hers, it's got cobwebs on it. It's got about an inch of dust on it. Your life is on the line, and has not been maintained. It's okay. She just puts it in there. It's just sitting there. So, yeah. Well, Jason, my woman been to the gun range. Bro, you need to give her a debriefing about that. When did she go? When was the last time? What did you shoot? Do you know how to clean it? Do you know a gun needs to be cleaned? Do you know it needs to be cleaned and oiled? When's the last time you did yours? Show me your gun cleaning kit. Tell me the procedure that you follow to clean this. No, I will not take your word for it. No, I will not. I don't care how eager you are to cozy up next to the broad. No, I'm not going to take your word for it. You show me how you do this. Fellas be scared to do that. Jason, she might not lay up if I don't. I'm like, bruh, okay, you worry about the wrong thing. You worried about the wrong thing. She thinks she's safe. She thinks she's okay. She bull jiving. These women need to be around some real men who gonna tell her, hey, baby, sex is not my priority. Survival is. I don't fool with a chick who's goofy. Sex is not my priority. Survival is. And if you gonna be around me, you're gonna be competent. Yeah, it's gonna be a damper. You worrying about getting a damn meal. You're gonna be competent. Sit your ass down, and we're going to go through the procedure of disassembling this thing. You're going to disassemble it. You're going to get some cleaning fluid. We're going to clean it all up. You're going to get the oil on it. You're going to know the parts that you do clean and the parts that you don't. For those of you who are not aware, there are parts you clean, there's parts you don't. There's parts you oil, there's parts you don't. I'm not going to spoil that for you, but by the way, there's parts you clean, there's parts you don't. There's parts you oil, there's parts you don't. He said, what oil do you use? It's okay. What gun do you have? It kind of goes from there. In any case, she needs a man in her life is what she needs a man in her life that has more than an Xbox. The closest thing these fellas can come to a gun is Call of Duty. Meanwhile, you get in his car, he's got air freshener. He's got incense. And the white supremacists run up and he's sitting there, Lord, please, sirs, I voted MAGA. It's okay. And then when you get done with all that, did you go shooting? Because I know I'm not going to blow up your spot, ladies, but I know a number of you right now talking about you done shot guns. I can ask my very next question. I'm not going to ask it right here because for a lot of you lie. You know what? Let me go ahead and do this anyway. Ladies, y'all have not gone to the gun range and shot 100 or 200 rounds through your gun. Lie. You ain't did it. For those of you who don't know, you ain't broke a gun in until you've put 100 or 200 rounds through it. You have not broken the gun in until I'm talking about a handgun. You ain't broke that thing in until you put 100, 200 rounds through it. So if you haven't gone to a gun range and gone through about 10 or 12 boxes of bullets, you haven't even broken the gun in. Ooh, Jason, that noise hurt my ears. I'm like, okay. Well, if you don't know how a firearm works, in reality, you have not broken the gun in until you put a couple of 100 rounds through it. And I know the majority of the females, you did not stand there. You have never stood anywhere on God's green earth and put 100 rounds through your gun. If you got a gun, I know damn well you did not sit there and put 100 rounds through it. You shot about 4-5 raggedy rounds. Okay, Judge Judy gonna be on here in a minute. We got to go. Went there to the range. You filled out about one little old box of bullets. Oh, I got a hair appointment this afternoon. We got to hurry up and go. We got to hurry up and get gone. That's enough right there. How many you got to do? My ears ringing. Meanwhile, y'all are out there with these white supremacist males. This bastard looks like damn me Leatherface. He's got hands that are built like damn me bear claws. And you sitting up here, what was your preparation? Talking about your ears. Oh yeah, one more thing. You know what? I'm going to get to that here in just a moment. I got somebody here on Zoom. Let me go ahead and get this right quick. I think this is who I've been looking for. Miss K, you emailed me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. So were you at the you're part of the family in Leesburg?
Yeah, that's my family.
Okay, ma'am. This Kinzer guy. How do y'all know him?
He's my sister neighbor. He lives down the street from her.
Okay. Has she had an incident, or you all had an incident, any problems out of him before? Because I find it difficult to believe he has not been a repeat issue.
No, sir. He just moved in the neighborhood about a month ago, she said.
So he just moved in?
Yeah, just about a month ago. He's been in the neighborhood about a month.
Okay, because he must have been a problem somewhere else. There's no way in the world he just moved to you all's neighborhood and it feels like he can wild out. Because they say he had body armor, guns, the whole damn 9 yards. So he showed up to cause trouble. So if he did quote just move in, no, he came looking to cause issues. There's just no way he didn't. Now, what's going on with the district attorney there? Because this guy is committing hate crimes. He's committing gun felony crimes. You're in Georgia, which has got laws against all of that. So what is going on with this district attorney?
Well, the GBI they took over the case. So they're getting all that information to give back to him to get those other charges pressed. But he originally put one charge on him, which was the aggravated assault charge.
Okay, a firearm is not aggravated assault. I mean, you have to step way down to get to aggravated assault when you've committed a gun crime. Imagine robbing a liquor store, shooting 6 or 7 times in the liquor store, and they tell you that's aggravated assault. That's unheard of. It's on video. He's on video opening fire after yelling nigger, nigger, nigger at people. Do you realize what science fiction that has to be for you? How far you step down from what the crime he's committed to charge him with aggravated assault? It's like that's like charging an arsonist with littering. Well, yeah, I mean, he's left a mess. He sure did right after he burned down everything. Well, yeah.
Right.
So I have an issue with that. It's like that should have been the first thing he was charged with. Because this isn't even really a firearm. I mean, technically speaking, you can call a firearm offense aggravated assault, but no, we step way down from that. So have they been in touch with your family?
Yes, they have. Well, we actually have lawyers now, so that's who they've been communicating with.
Okay, they've been talking to your lawyers. Yes. What have they told them?
That they turned it over to the GBI and they're trying to get additional charges pressed.
Trying to get additional charges pressed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
because that's what they was telling us when they did our statement interview. They told us that as well, that they're trying to get the charges to stick to him. So however that goes, everyone gave statements and they're trying to get the charges to stick. So
trying to get an aggravated assault charge to stick when he's on video.
Right.
How much effort does that take? And this happened on June 7th, is what I'm seeing. It happened on June 7th, so it's been like a week since that happened. It doesn't take a week to see the video of it. And I understand GBI may have a lot of cases or whatever, but this doesn't require. This isn't an episode of Law and Order. I mean, that's not what this is. It really isn't. This isn't. Can we find some video? The video's on the damn news. I'm in Louisiana and I'm seeing this. So I'm like, okay, it doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to substantiate a gun crime here. Here is my issue, Kay. I think it's going to be foolery. I think it's going to be foolery. I think it's going to be nonsense. I don't like what I'm seeing. It does not take this long. He is being grossly undercharged. I do not believe that there's going to be any upgrading of charges if there's no pressure applied. I don't think this is a head fake. I do not believe that this is a precursor to something bigger. No, I don't. I think they mean exactly what they're doing. I think that they are hoping that they're going to wait a couple of weeks because they let his ass out already. I mean, they let him out the same, on top of everything else. If you think that they're taking this seriously, they let him out the same damn day. Now, please show me where somebody has ever opened fire and was let loose the same day.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm looking at that. That tells me everything I need to know right there. That this is not a head fake. This is a precursor of things to come. And I think they're just trying to wait a little while and let the attention die down and then say that they're going to plea bargain him.
No, we're not letting that down. We're not doing that.
Well, you certainly may be opposed to it. However, remember, they tried the same thing with the McMichaels after killing them at Arbery. So there's a very long track record of doing that. So please understand, in a lot of these cases, the only thing to stop that was if a judge decided not to accept it. And I don't know who your judges are there. I certainly hope they're a higher caliber individual than this district attorney is. But I find it difficult to believe that they're going to do anything substantial if they're not pressured to do so, because they were on video. You let him loose the same because this happened on a Sunday.
Right.
He committed a gun crime. Shouldn't he have been held to go in front of a judge to get bond set? I mean, unless y'all got judges working on Sundays, and I don't believe that's the case.
I think he got out that Monday or Tuesday. They released him.
Okay, we may have conflicting reports about that then. He was released on June 9th on $5,000 bond, so he was released a couple of days later. Okay, so he went and saw a judge. They said, Your Honor, he's on video here shooting up the damn block, yelling nigger at folk, committing gun crime, hate crime. Okay, $5,000 bond. Mind your manners. We'll see you in the month. Really? So that's what you do. And I'm just saying, if you did this at a liquor store, you'd still be in jail right now. If you did that at a liquor store, you would still be in jail right now. Or you'd be looking at $100,000 or $200,000 to bond out, if you can get out at all. If you can get out, period, your bond is going to be hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million, because he had an assault rifle and armor and stuff. So that's intent right there. This isn't some spur of the moment thing. This is, I'm going back to the house and I'm going to do some serious damage here. So in my eyes, this is attempted murder, period. No question about it. This is just straight up attempted murder. And this DA is the thing I have issue with. So I definitely support you and your family in this, but I'm just letting you know, no, ma'am, no, they are. What I predict is going to happen is that their strategy is just to stall on this, and GBI is going to come back to you all and say, well, we think we got a good case for aggravated assault. And then they're going to tell you they want to plea bargain it down to just probably petty assault or disturbing the peace. And I'm serious in what I'm saying. I mean that. Jason, you mean gun crime gone altogether? Yes. That's exactly where I predict that they're going to try to move that to. Because I suspect this guy has committed a racial crime. They're already doing that Georgia thing, coming to his defense to water it down. Their goal is going to be to try to avoid a felony. I need you to understand that. So for aggravated assault, that could still be regarded as a felony. Their goal is going to be to try to avoid that. So that's why I'm telling you, look for them to try to get around aggravated assault. Do not think they're going to do not fool yourself into think. Ask your attorneys. Don't believe me. Ask them. Hey, is aggravated assault a felony or a misdemeanor? And they're going to tell you it can be both. It can be either.
Right.
It can be either. And I'm just telling you, they're going to try to avoid that for him, which means plea bargaining this down, even with a firearm, even with intent. And there's no way he doesn't have a record of this. There is no way that this is his first time doing this. No way whatsoever. Have your attorneys like been working to try to get his criminal record to see if they can find out if he's done this before?
Yeah, they have. Yes, they're doing a good job. They're doing a great job, actually.
Okay, well, if you can get that information to me, I'd very much like to have that.
Okay, well, I can have them give you a call then.
Right, because I mean, if he's got a record of this, there's no way that a guy this violent and this prepared for it, there's no way that this is his first offense of doing something of this kind. There's just no way, because now, were you there the night it happened?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so did it go the way the news said, that he was yelling racial epithets first, left, and then came back?
Yeah, that he did it twice. He wrote it twice, knowing that. Went home, put on his body armor, got his gun, and came back and started shooting.
Okay, about how long would you say it was from the time that he first came through yelling at you all till the time that he came back shooting?
Probably about 5 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes. No more than 10 minutes, yeah.
No more than 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is like he must have like circled the block, came back, did it again,
Right.
and then
That's
came
what
back.
he
So
did.
he just basically didn't even stop. Or if he did stop, he stopped only shortly and then came back and did that. So that definitely says forethought. He already came around twice, so that's forethought. That's not, spur of the moment. That's forethought. Yeah. So I definitely want to stay on top of your case for you here. I've had my folk call in the district attorney's office there to let them know that we're watching this. GBI has a spotty record at best. I'm going to tread a little bit carefully because I know you got folk working on the case, but I am as skeptical of GBI as a person can be, period. Just period. They've had plenty of opportunities to gain my confidence and have not done it. So forgive me for being highly skeptical of them. This situation here is not doing anything to bolster my confidence. This is a straight up felony. And the fact that they're basically edging this toward misdemeanor for a damn gun crime, hate crime. Yeah, no. So if your folk can get to me about his criminal record, I would really like to have that. I do not want to wait on this. And really, to be totally honest with you, I'd like to come to town is what I'd really like to do. And just let Mr. Lamb know that, by the way, I'm so glad to hear we're waiting on GBI to get back to you so that you can do this felony, right? Because there's the issue I have right there. So we're going to discuss this. One more thing. Now, the news reports also said that you all called the police after he did that, after he came through yelling at you all the first time.
Yeah, my sister did, yes.
Okay, what did they say when you all did that? Did they say they were coming? Because I know it was 5 minutes, so they're going to claim that we were on our way. Did they dispatch an officer when you all called the first time, or what happened?
I'm not sure. My sister was on the phone with them, so I don't know exactly what they told her. But they did say they'll get somebody out.
Okay, well, I would want to make sure about that as well. I would really like to have his criminal record and the 911 call. I'd really like to have that to see if they actually dispatch somebody, because that's the next thing I'm taking a look at. I understand this is sheriff's department. I'm not sure how far you all are. I'm not sure how rural of an area that is. So I would like to have all my ducks lined up in a row as far as what happened at night to see about that. But on top of that, now, what about the neighbors? Because this strikes me. Previously I was told this is a suburban integrated neighborhood, I suppose. Like, how long do you all live there?
Well, my sister actually lived there. She's messaging me now. She said to let you know that she just emailed you the attorney's information for you to call and get all the information from him. The questions you asked, like they can answer all those questions as far as his background and stuff like that.
Okay.
They have all that information. So she said check your email. She emailed it to you.
Okay, tell her to email me her information also, because I need to talk with her. Very important I do that. How long did she live there?
It's been over a year.
Oh, okay.
2 years, probably 2 or 3 years. Yeah, probably 2 or 3 years.
Okay, is this a new area out there or something that they just built within like the last decade or something? Because you all just got there and this fella here just got there. So is this a new development or
It could be. I'm not sure. She probably can answer that for you. I don't live out there, so I don't know. So she probably know exactly how how long that subdivision has been there.
Okay, yeah, I'm kind of curious about that because it sounds like if everybody's new out there, that would definitely explain a few things. How well to your knowledge, how well does she get along with her neighbors? Has she expressed any issues with them before in the neighborhood?
No, she get along with the neighbors great. They come over sometimes, and have cookouts and stuff like that. She get along with the neighbors great.
Okay, well, she got along with the neighbors great till Mr. Kinzer showed up. And then all of a sudden, here comes the noise. So definitely get a hold of her and let her know. Send me her information. I want to stay on top of that for you all. I would like to really just sit on this case. I really, really would, because I see all kinds of things here I don't like. And until those charges are upgraded where they need to be, yeah, I'm not going to be happy or satisfied with this. I'm just not. This is a felony. This is a gun crime. This is a hate crime. This is the definition of all those things. He is literally the poster child for why you have these crimes on the books. And that's literally what has not happened. And a week later, to your knowledge, I mean, it still hasn't been changed yet. It does. No. So until we get correct charges, no, I want to sit on it.
Okay. We appreciate you, though.
Well, I thank you. Go ahead and check in with me here, sister, and we'll be in touch.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, y'all, like I say, this guy is the poster child for everything that those laws allegedly are in place for. He was supposed to be getting that from the rip. If any of you went to a white neighborhood, forget yelling racial epithets. If you all went to a white neighborhood and started shooting up, they would have charged you with murder. The GBI would have charged you with murder very first day. District attorney, you would be in jail on attempted murder charges. You would go straight, even if you had an argument with them, even if they were pointing guns at you, you would be charged with attempted murder. You would fly straight past aggravated assault. No one would be even talking about aggravated assault. It would be straight attempted murder. They would be saying, is the gun legal? You shouldn't have had it. Where's your permit? They would have been doing all that. Let me go ahead and jump back over here on Zoom right quick. Let me see Myra here. Where's Amira? There you go. Okay, unmute yourself. Microphone lower left-hand corner. There you go.
Peace and love, Black family. Peace and love, Jason. My name is Cosmozone. I have the wrong name up there. I just wanted to come on and ask something about the Leesburg situation. This is white supremacy all the way revealing itself. And the reason why I believe that they didn't charge him with attempted murder is because they don't have an attempted murder charge in Georgia, but they do got a criminal attempt charge that I see, criminal intent, and they mix it with the aggravated assault to like fuse it to make it attempted murder or something like that. But they could have been upgraded. The charges could have been upgraded to the hate crime, like you said, because they do have that on the book. So I'm like I'm not confused because I understand white supremacy in the totality. But they are trying to do exactly what you said that they are doing. This is a precursor to not upgrade the charges to a hate crime. They don't need the GBI to do that. They could have done that themselves.
Yeah, that's what the district attorney is there for. That's what the sheriff's department is there for.
Right.
That's what they're there for right there. We're arresting you on what charge? Murder, attempted murder, first degree felony. That's from the very beginning. All the rest of that, we're gonna investigate it. I'm like, okay, why? No,
that's right.
No, it's crooked.
Yeah, definitely crooked. We need to be aware. These people mean business, folks. Like, we gotta stay focused, man. And I'm just like, I'm wary about like what's our next move. Like, you see what I'm saying? Because we already understand that they're playing the white supremacy game. All right, now we gotta find out a solution for ourselves because this means our safety. You see what I'm saying? This is about our safety. These people gunning us down, attacking us with no equivocations. I mean, like, something got to give up out of this. Like, as far as from us finding a solution on what to do next, man. Because this can't keep on happening like this, and they not going to do nothing. They're going to just keep on practicing white supremacy. You see? But I just wanted to add that, Jay. Thank you for letting me come up here and speak to you and the family. Peace and love. Keep doing what you do, brother.
Thank you for giving me a call today, brother. We appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, look, first line of defense, like I said, is that you yourselves, what the family did, they was staying ready. They didn't have to get ready. That's exactly where you want to be. Absolutely, positively is. That's the first thing. So you've prevented a tragedy from occurring. You prevented a tragedy from occurring in that regard, which is good. That is stopping that right there. There's an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So preventing the situation where you got him being able to carry out what he really wanted to, which is to murder a bunch of people. Okay, you stopped that from occurring. Great. You got your loved ones with you. Great. You're the first line of defense. That's good. Now for some systemic change. If you weren't able to you were able to prevent and block the threat. But if the threat was able to get away, it's like, okay, at this point right now the rest of these folk got to step in and do something here and let them know that, by the way, we see if whether or not he had collaborators. We're checking to see whether or not you had collaborators. That's the thing that we're taking a look at. We really want to look at that. Okay. Let me see here. All right, y'all. By the way, some of their stuff got sent to the spam folder, so I'm in the process of, some of it didn't go to the spam folder, some of it did. I'm in the process of removing some of that there now. So for those of you who, I got your emails. So if it seems like I haven't been avoiding you, I haven't been ignoring you, I just went to go check, and it looks like they threw a bunch of them in the spam folder. So over the course of the last hour. So some of your emails went straight to my inbox, but others went to the spam folder. I see the ones that were in the spam folder now, so I got those. So I got a number of those here. Definitely on that. So Leesburg, thank you very much. We appreciate that. I want to be on top of that in Leesburg. So I'm going to be making some phone calls today for certain. Thank you very much for your patience, Kay. I appreciate that, sister. I wasn't ignoring you. It's just your first email went to my inbox and the rest of them went to the spam folder, so I wasn't ignoring you. So thank you very much for calling me up about that. I wasn't on you, and I wasn't, as you can see, I wasn't ignoring you. So definitely appreciate that. Okay. By the way, these folks' social media, I've been looking for that too. That Robert Moore fella, I've been looking for his. Maybe they don't have social media in the caves. What? But I can't find anything for him. This Kinzer guy, this Jeff Kinzer guy. This Jeffrey Kinzer. Can't find anything for him either, so I don't know if these are MK Ultra cells that got activated or whatever, but I've been looking for their social media stuff too. I've been trying to go over that to see. I'm not sure if they got anything there, if they moved it, if the authorities went and scrubbed their social media. Y'all know how this goes. You know how this goes. Once they get caught, once they get grabbed, next thing you know, they hold them back for a few days, just like all these mass shooters. As soon as they get arrested, they go and scrub their social media. They go and clean out their social media. They go and sanitize it and scrub the internet and try to scrub all their social media. And then you get told a week later, you get notified of what happened. And then when you go looking for their social media, all of a sudden you can't find anything. So, you have to try to hit the Wayback Machine or whatever. So for some of my internet heads, some of my IT heads and whatnot, where's these folks' social media at? Where's this Robert Moore from Lebanon, Tennessee? Where's his social media at? This Jeffrey Tyler Kinzer, where's his social media at? Because all of a sudden you can't find anything. All of a sudden there's nothing there. And I'm like, oh, no. No, this guy was definitely doing something. No, you don't just get up on a random Sunday all Scooter the Shootered out like him. No, this is not the first offense. It's guaranteed he's put up a bunch of posts. It's guaranteed he's been doing the Nick Fuentes. Guaranteed. They're just going to work now trying to hide it. Which, of course, is what his attorneys would want them to do. Hey, if you got anything out there that shows you would do that, you want to go ahead and take that down. Hurry up and take that down now. Don't leave it up. Hurry up and take it down. Okay, now we'll go ahead and release him. And the media, they won't talk about it for another few days. They're going to hold back on this. So next thing you know, it's almost a week till we hear it. And then it's like, okay, let's go look him up. Oh, there's nothing there. Yeah, there was something there yesterday. There was something there the day before yesterday. Now there's nothing there. So my folks out there and whatnot, if you can find their social media, very, very interested in that. Robert Moore from Lebanon, Tennessee, and Jeffrey Tyler Kinzer, recently in Lee County, Leesburg, Georgia. Let me go ahead and jump over here on Zoom. Let me get Miller up here on Zoom for me here right quick. Where is Miller here? Okay, I don't see Miller here. Miller may be having a slow internet connection. I'm not sure if he's on Zimbabwe broadband, but Miller, we're not seeing anything here. So, folks, if you got them walked away from your phones or whatever, bad time to be doing that. Miller, I'll give you about 5 seconds here, and then we're going to have to move on. Okay, there you go, Miller. All right, Miller, where are you calling me from?
Bainbridge, Georgia.
Okay, where at in Georgia?
Bainbridge.
Okay, Bainbridge, Georgia. All right, brother, what's on your mind?
Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for the broadcast, and we appreciate everything you're doing. Lee County, I have relatives that live up there as well. First cousins and stuff like that. And it's sad that, we can't even celebrate family reunions, birthdays, or anything without, people attacking us and all of that stuff. As far as that family is concerned, hey, we all got to stick together. I'm glad we come together as a people. And also that guy who shot at him, he's shooting an AR-15. I don't understand how he didn't hit anybody. What was he shooting at? I mean, if he's actually shooting.
Well, I mean, look, these types, they're only dangerous if they can get you at point blank range. These are not elite. These are not elite soldiers. They're not special forces. They're just a bunch of dudes out here. These all white supremacists fancy themselves as paramilitary. In reality, they're just parasites. What? So it's not like they're special forces or anything. They want you to think they're dangerous. They cosplay as soldiers, but in reality, they're not. They're cowards. They always have been. If they can't sneak up behind you and shoot you from 8 inches away, the chances are actually pretty low that they're going to hit you. So this is why they have to ambush you. The cases where it's deadly, this is where they always get to ambush you, sneak up behind you, sneak up on some children, sneak up on your car. It's never 20 feet away. That's never what happens. That never occurs. And one more thing, it's also not occurring when there's able-bodied men around. So that's another issue that was a real big problem. Chasing a bunch of children, the George Zimmermans and whatnot, they good for chasing down a bunch of kids. And Tamir Rice. And they're experts at ambushing children. Some men show up and all of a sudden he's the gang that couldn't shoot straight and he's Barney Fife and everything else. And that's the way it is. So that's why they want to ambush like that. Now, I don't know very much about this area. Obviously, I've been through Atlanta and, in the Valdosta and places like that. I'm not really familiar with Lee County. That area that they're in, do you know about that? Like, I'm curious about when that was built out because it doesn't look like it's terribly old and none of the principals involved seem like they've been there for like 20 or 30 years. So is this like are they building out in that area?
Well, to my knowledge, I know that like previous caller said, that's an area that they built up to escape Albany, Georgia, which is only like 10, 15 minutes, to the side of Albany or something like that. But I think it's been there for a while, but like this area is starting to grow now. So it's one of those suburbs where, the white people moved out from Albany just to get out of the inner city of Albany.
Okay, so they moved there to so that's like a suburb that was built out. to be able to
Yeah.
get out of the city there. Okay, like that's what I was thinking, like what they did in Plano and Frisco and things like that. So
Yeah,
it's
it's one of
basically
those-
that's
it's
basically
one-
where the houses are. So they may work in one area, but
Yeah.
that's basically where their houses are. So like 15, 20 minutes outside the city, basically, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, same old story. Same old story in that regard. So, and yeah, if too many black faces start showing up, you know, because
It's a problem.
let's just call it what it is. Your neighbors might be sitting there smiling when y'all show up, but as soon as they leave, after they drop off the bunt cake, as soon as they leave, well, there's sure a whole lot of them. Whole lot of them showing up around here now, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, look, they're having a whole big dance off here. There goes the neighborhood, Mildred. There goes the neighborhood. So
That's it.
that right there happened. The next thing you know, here comes Kinzer. What are we gonna do about it? Oh, what can we do, Jeffrey? I can think of something. And here we go. So yeah, if too many of us show up, next thing you know, here comes. If the banks won't keep you out, and if they just assumed you never get enough money to buy your way in, well, here comes the Ku Klux Klan.
You know, we got a lot of those pockets like that in Southwest Georgia, man. It's a lot of areas around here. Got the same MO, you know, little suburb outside from the main city and stuff like that. You know, and it's where all the white people move to get away from the niggas. I hate to say it. That's the sentiment. So.
Yeah, so everybody needs to be cautious, man. It's just you get your ideas in your head. Oh, if I'm in Decatur, that's the issue. You know, if I'm in East Point, that'd be the issue. It's like, okay, you in Leesburg. No, the issue's here. The issue is where you at, and you need to be prepared wherever you are. So you can guarantee me that you will not start any trouble. Can you guarantee me that these other people won't? There's the issue. You can promise me that you will not start trouble. Okay, can you promise me that they won't? And then you said, well, I mean, there ain't been no problems. You tried to promise me and take a look. What this fella moved in the neighborhood specifically for the purposes of blasting at you.
Yeah.
And he's willing to take penitentiary chances to make some kind of point. And we know what the issue was. Juneteenth coming up. And take a look around the neighborhood. There's too many black folk here looking like they're enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
He drove down the block and he saw several generations of black folk, and y'all look like you're too comfortable. You look like you're too happy in America. What can I do? I can't rest tonight. I am uncomfortable seeing you content and not suffering. I've always told you all that white supremacy gauges its power by the extent to which you're suffering. If y'all was sitting there looking raggedy and dirty and whatnot, they'd be like, okay, everything's cool. They probably showed up with nice cars, the family sitting there and whatnot. It ain't looking like an episode of Good Times. Oh, hell no. No, I am upset. I'm unsettled. How can I go to sleep tonight with this stability here? What can I do about it? Oh, and what do you know? He has body armor and guns. Yeah, he's been looking for a place to do that. He's been looking for one.
He's been prepared. And, you know, I think that the key to all of this stuff, man, is all of us staying prepared, number one. Like you say, get your gun, get your permit to conceal and carry, keep it clean, keep it ready, stay strapped with your ammo, stay vigilant. And it's pull-up season. That's what it is, man. It's pull-up season on all the offices, on local level, the state level, and the federal level. It's pull-up season. We not having it no more. That's just it.
Yeah, because I see where things are steering, and we're going to let them know it's a new day. You know, we're not going to sit up here and do these things under cover of darkness. And, oh, well, don't worry. The GBI's investigating them. Like, yeah, I don't know. Ain't that much investigating in the world. You would have charged him with a gun crime from the very beginning if that's what you were going to do, because that's what he committed. It would be up to him to prove that's not what he did. Because that's what they do with you. With you, they charge you with the max, and you got to go to court and prove that's not what you did. This fella here is being charged with the minimum, and it makes it sound like you're putting the onus on the victims to prove he did more than that. What happened to charging them with the max, and then he's got to prove he didn't do that? I'll let you have the last word.
Well, it's the same old gameplay, man. You know, back in the 80s, you know, when it was crack, you know, for 2 pieces of crack rock, 3 pieces of crack rock, it's a felony. But white people getting away with bricks of cocaine. You know what I'm saying? Another thing, it's the same old game with the guns. You know, everybody had guns in the South or wherever, but then you had to have permits and license to get them. All of a sudden, they changed the law. Everybody can have a gun without a license. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I had my license for like.
It's a bob and weave. What you just said, that's white supremacy right there. Nobody had to have a permit originally till we started getting armed. Here come the Panthers. Now, where's your permit? We need to see a permit. Okay, then everybody started giving permits. Open carry, constitutional carry. I'll be damned. Zig, zag, zig. What did Brother Neely Fuller teach you? White supremacy takes both sides of the argument. You move one way, they're going to try to move another. And what that does expose is, that's not accidental. Everything you've been saying is a lie in the con game. When you said we could carry, you were lying. The Second Amendment doesn't apply. Exactly. This is all just to show us, look, the Second Amendment doesn't apply to you. We are not going to respect your Second Amendment rights, no matter what. And the Supreme Court is going to sit there and rubber stamp it.
I'm white and I say so.
All day. Thank you very much for giving us a call. I mean, it just shows you right there. The brother's hitting the nail on the head. First, nobody talked about no damn permit. You had a gun. Okay, that was it. All these Southern white males, we talked about this since I've been a child. You see them with their guns, gun racks on the back of their pickup trucks, gun racks on the back window. We going hunting. Okay. Sometimes for more than deer. Didn't have to have a permit. Didn't have to have anything. Till we showed up. Black folks started getting armed. Here come the permits. With your so-called liberal Democrats leading the charge. Your liberal Democrats, alleged liberal Democrats leading the charge. Telling you that you having a gun was too dangerous. Notice they never said the white supremacists having a gun was the reason that we need to have gun buybacks, mandatory background checks, serial numbers, databases. The white supremacists committing crimes for 200 years with guns, and nobody ever said that was the reason for having gun buybacks, permits, all this registry. Nobody asked for that then. Just as soon as we started getting armed, you're too dangerous for that. No. We're here to help keep you safe by disarming you. No. The white supremacists, they're okay. It's you guys over here. We're going to protect you by disarming you. Then they focus on you. It's like, okay, next thing you know, okay, well, let me go ahead and, you don't have a permit. All right, we'll go ahead and get our permits. You don't have a concealed carry permit. We got a concealed carry permit. Constitutional carry, no permits. So just whatever direction we go in, when we start complying with your little bull jive laws, next thing you know, here you go. So what you are exposing is that, you're targeting us. It's not accidental. This isn't an accident. You're targeting us. You are, when you make these laws, as we always said, you make these laws with us in mind. You are crafting and making these laws specifically with us in mind to see how can you use it in a way, how can you rejigger it in a way that penalizes us. And eventually you're going to have to just come out and do like the Carmelo Anthony case and say exactly what it is. I'm white and I say so. Eventually you're running out of options. You're going to have to eventually just break down and just, I'm white and I say so. You have no rights that the white government is obligated to acknowledge. Eventually, you're going to have to just, we got you in a corner now. We got you backed in the corner. So, you can't use all that head fake stuff you've been using. You're going to have to just come on out and say, it's white supremacy. We're white and we say so. And the law today is whatever we say it is today. Maybe you need a permit, maybe you don't. Maybe it's legal, maybe it's not. Maybe your gun is legal, maybe it isn't. Our guns are always legal. Maybe yours is, maybe it isn't. Depends on whatever we want to say the law is today. Whatever we want to say your rights are today. Maybe you have that right today. Maybe you don't. Maybe you have it at 12:05. Maybe you don't have it at 12:07. So it just depends on how we feel in that moment. And that's literally what it is. So you've kind of backed him in the corner right now that's basically the only real argument they can make. Why didn't we say so? I got James here on Zoom. James, what's on your mind? Microphone button, lower left-hand corner.
What's going on, brother? How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's on your mind?
As you can see, I got it on me. Okay. Sitting at the house.
It helps.
I'm going to say this. I'm calling from Iowa. I'm originally from New Orleans. I don't know what it is. We got our sons trying to be our daughters, and our daughters trying to be our sons. When I go to the range up here, these folks got these kids out here, 3 and 4 and 5 years old, already shooting. When these kids start walking, they already giving them broomsticks to carry around the house that's supposed to simulate a gun. When they figure out that these kids got the concept, they're already taking them out in the woods. Jason, you from Louisiana like me. We know about that 3 o'clock in the morning thing that they do out there in the swamps where they grab them little boys and take them out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
These people not playing. They're not playing. While we out here dancing the Dougie and hands on your knees and all that, these people have prepared for war. And I just want to say one last thing. The guy who said, how did he miss with an AR-15? That's not the point. The point is that he was bold enough to come out there and shoot. Because you know what? The next one ain't going to miss. That's what's going to happen. The fact that he was bold enough to do that, I don't care if he missed. That he went and got body armor and came back because he thought he had an ambush. He thought he had a soft target because these guys don't want to race war. They want to race ambush. That's all they want.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't go deer hunting with body armor.
Sure don't.
You don't do that. Yeah. You got your little orange vest maybe. You don't go deer hunting with body armor. You don't do that. And an AR, deer hunting with body armor and an AR-15. No. He's man hunting. He's not deer hunting. He's man hunting.
And he knows he has the prosecution. He has his community to back him up. See, when Kyle Rittenhouse and Penny and that lady up there in Minnesota, they saw all that white supremacy money that they was giving him out, and they was like, oh, okay, now we got the community that's going to speak with the dollars. Now we can really go out here and do what we want to do. But they want to ambush. They don't really want a war. Like Stephen Miller, he wants the federal government and he wants the military and all that with him. These guys, like you said, in 2020, we was out in the street. That was the time for them to do it. And they was nowhere. They was in hiding.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the whole thing is. They want to ambush some little old lady. They want to ambush some kid. That's why they sit up here and sell. That's why they were so mad about Carmelo Anthony, because the ambush didn't work. You don't want to start making it look like, okay, ambushing isn't an option. So they have to buck up on it, or you're just salty because it didn't work. So with Jordan Neely, okay, the ambush worked. Just 5 of y'all and 1 of him. Some little scrawny, anorexic, mentally disabled dude up here. Yeah, that's the paragons of virtue and the heroes among their group. So when they're very sensitive to optics, when they remember every victory fuels the next victory and every defeat fuels the next defeat. When you start looking like the damn Keystone, the whole point of terrorism is that you have to be a credible threat. When you make your move and you trip over your damn feet and you can't shoot straight and you're tripping over your shoelaces, you go from being a threat to being a punchline. So understand why that was, to them, that's not a good look. It's okay. You can't keep getting lost. In Leesburg, you couldn't hit anybody. In Lebanon, Tennessee, the fella sat there in front of the white woman and disarmed you in the middle of the street and hoe slapped you. It's just, those are the kind of optics they want to avoid because they need to look terroristic. They got to look terroristic. So yes, when the ambush fails, they consider that to be a failure for the movement. That's a failure for the group. And we got to find something else to balance that out with. I'll let you have the last word.
All I just want to say to the community, man, you guys and you girls, go get your permits. You got to be 3 steps ahead of these guys. I always preach that. Don't just constitutional carry, get a permit, because these guys are always looking for opportunity to shoot you or put you in jail, like they did James Harden. Go out there. You got money. Go and get you something to protect yourself, man, because these guys and girls have been on the warpath. It's just we seeing it in real time now, man. Y'all be safe out there.
Thank you for giving us a call here, brother. Yeah, it's Juneteenth. Get your candy bars up.
And deal with it.
Real talk. It's Juneteenth. Find you, for the fellas, and that's another thing. We got men out here don't know how to change a damn spare tire, don't know how to change an alternator. It's time to get enabled. Start getting proficient. It's time to get enabled and proficient. Change a tire, do some repairs. Grab your chick and tell her, hey, we going to the gun range. If you don't live in a rural area where you can shoot on your own, okay, it's time for you to go to the gun range. Damn Netflix and chill. 9mm and turn up. And another thing, for those of you who've never been to a gun, not just the females who own something, for those of you who've never been to a gun range, a real gun range has multiple types of weapons. For most of you, the ladies listening to me right now, you're going to go to a gun range. Okay, you're going to get a 9mm, you're going to get a Glock, you're going to get maybe a 40 caliber. Okay, that's cool. Tell them, hey, bring over that MAC-10. I've been to gun ranges that have MAC-10s, AK-47s, Heckler & Koch. I've been to places that have those. So don't just go and shoot a firearm. Don't just go and shoot a handgun. AR-15, AK-47, with the donut clip, not just the banana clip, but the donut clip. Go to a gun range, and if they got those, what do you say specifically? Ask them what kind of weapons ask them what kind of guns they have. If they got guns, they'll let you shoot. When I got my girlfriends, that's what I do. I've done that with most, if not all, my girlfriends. I don't give a damn what you done shot before. You are going to learn how to shoot an automatic. You're going to learn how to shoot a real rifle. Shotgun, auto loader. I don't know what your gun range might have, but they got other guns, and it's like a night at the movies. Now, it costs you, don't get me wrong. You have to pay if you're going to shoot these other weapons. You got to pay. That's how they make their money. I mean, they got to make their little money. I ain't mad at them. They got to make their little money. Okay, fine. You're going to shoot the guns. You got to pay for the shotgun rounds. You got to pay, if it's an auto loader, you got to pay for the bullets. That's how they make their little money. That's cool. You're getting something for it. You're not going there for free, and you're not getting nothing. You're getting something for going. It depends on your gun range. If you're going to go to a gun range, I highly recommend you go to one that has other weapons that you can use while you're there. I'm not telling you what somebody else told me, so I'm not telling you it's every gun range. They might not. I don't know. Go to a gun range that has other weapons that you can use while you're there. Don't just go to the gun range and shoot yours. I mean, do it. Now, for me, like, for example, if I'm breaking the gun in, it depends on what it is. If I'm breaking the gun in, for example, if I had, one time I went to the gun range, I had a bunch of extra bullets. So basically, I paid them to let me use the gun range, so they kind of like charged me for using my own bullets, which was cool because I don't want ammunition just sitting around. I'm not a person who believes in just leaving ammunition sitting around. So if I haven't shot it, within a couple of years, I'm really like, okay, use it or lose it. Not that bullets necessarily, quote, go bad. I just don't like the idea of them oxidizing or anything like that because I don't really watch it like that. Okay, one way or the other, we're going to do that. So you can pay them to shoot your own bullets. You can shoot theirs. I recommend go to a range that's got a number of different weapons that they have. Ask them if they got other weapons that you can shoot, and they'll let you know. If there's a gun range that does, that's the one you want to go to. If they don't, I don't know about that. You don't have to go off and go buy everything there is, but I want you to get accustomed to being able to use different types of weapons. I want you to be versed in it, so that you know what it's like. So I want you to have some experience as something other than just a handgun. so you can pick up some proficiency at it. Well, Jason, why? You never know when you're going to be someplace where there's a Jeffrey Kinzer and maybe you snuck up on him and now you have to disarm him. Case in point, folks, like the case in Lebanon, Tennessee. Here's the thing right here. So the brother got the fella out of his truck. He got his hands on the gun. Now, my whole thing is, at this point right here, you have the ability to take the clip out of it. If you've never practiced taking the magazine out of a gun, completely taking it out so it's no longer dangerous. Now, for me, I would have neutralized the threat in the middle of the street.
And deal with it.
Now, for me, it would have gone different. I would have neutralized the threat in the middle of the street. I would have neutralized the threat right there. As soon as he got out that truck and started walking towards me, right here, I would have neutralized the threat. I would not be walking backwards. I would stand my ground, and I would have told him one time, stop where you are. The next step he takes, I would have neutralized him in the middle of that street. He'd have taken one step, I say stop, and that would be it. I'd have neutralized him right there. However, if you are trying to proselytize the love of Jesus and you are willing to take a chance that he's going to disarm you and finish what he attempted to start, which is to murder you in the middle of that street, at least you need to know how to disarm these weapons. How to get the magazines out of these weapons. So you need to know whether or not it's got the little retainer clip at the bottom of the magazine that holds it in place, or whether it's got a push button on the side of it or whatever to release it. So you need to know where the releases are on handguns. You need to know where the release is on an AR-15, AK-47, MAC-10, these weapons these folks are using. You need to know where the releases are. If at the very least, so you can be familiar with it. So if you go to a gun range and actually see these weapons up close, males and females, those of you who've been in the military, you have a bit of an advantage over the general public, but most people have not been in the military. So, hey, ladies, fellas, go to the gun range, go to a gun range that has more than one type of weapon, so you can at the very least go ahead and eye hustle when they're putting it in there so you can see how you can engage the release to take out a magazine, take out the bullet that's in the chamber. Different guns have different types of releases, but now you'll be familiar with it, whether it's on the side by the handle or whether it's on the bottom. Now you're familiar with it if you are so inclined to go through all that extra effort and risk your life doing that. Me over here, I already know the part of the thing I'm dealing with. I already know the part I'm dealing with. But for everybody else, okay. Experience matters. Forget the damn turn up. Go get you some education you can use. If no one ever explained this to you all, that's the utility of it, now it has. All right, we got Samantha here on Zoom. Samantha, what's on your mind?
How you doing, Brother Jason? I'm coming in. I thank you for having me. Everything since I've been following you, brother, you've been on point. But sometimes when it comes to our people in the chat, it hits a nerve. I was in the back when I heard the brother talk about where he is, how these wild dogs are training their little savage dogs at 5 years old. But however, it was a brother, I forgot his name, but it was a while back where he was training his children. These were children, 5, whatever, and them kids with a bandana tied around their eyes. Just like you were saying, Brother Jason, he was training them kids to know how to unlock the magazine without looking, and he was training them up with words. And they even tried to go, they used to mess with this young man all the time, so-called themselves, bringing the Child Protective Service to his house. And he was like, no. Whatever amendment right, I don't know what number that was, but I don't want to say the wrong number. He's basically performing his amendment right to teach his children how to be well armed. Everything that you sitting here explaining, because it's like when it comes to a lot of our people, I don't understand why people even indulging who's going to do this well, who you think going to do that, and who you think going. This brother sits and explains everything and breaks everything that thing down, line by line, word by word, article by article, that we do not see on the shitty ass, mainstream media. And the thing is, they still come back and ask the dumbest questions. We are moving forward now. It is no sense to keep going backwards to where as though many of our people have killed themselves trying to wake our dumbass people up. It is no reason why we should be sitting on here in the live chat going backwards. It's about moving forward. We cannot fortify with a lot of our people. And a lot of these people that want to come in just to show their damn face and not actually stand on anything, you don't need to say anything, because it's basically like we talking to brick walls. I'm in DC, and I'm sure you've been all over the place, Brother George, so you know how the shit is here. These people colonizing up here left and right, sitting up here, our people just holding hands with everybody. When are y'all going to wake up? Because everything we putting out and standing for, and we are entitled to be called FBAs. Everybody know what the hell blueprint mean. Blueprint mean what we're about to build and the people that's building it and the people that was here in it. That's what that means. So to keep going backwards and asking the same goddamn question, it gets so irritating. It's time to move forward. Everybody else talk about boots on the ground. Let's get it.
You don't ask permission to protect yourself. You don't request permission. You don't ask permission. You don't ask for a law. You don't ask for a permit. What? You don't ask for permission to protect yourself and your loved ones. You have an obligation by God and biology to do that. That's not something granted to you by a man. That is granted to you by the fact you are here. You do not ask permission to teach your children to protect themselves. You don't ask anybody nothing. It's not up for a vote. It's not up for a political opinion poll. It's not up for a negotiation. It's not up for a city council meeting. Ain't gonna be no meeting. Ain't gonna be no vote. It's already been voted on. It's been approved in this house. And that's the end of that. Period. So that's really where it goes from there. So no, sister, I am right there with you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
She looked like she lived at the gun range. What? Well, she in D.C. Let me not say too much. They in D.C. and whatnot. They send out these black politicians to be their representatives to disarm us. You notice they don't have any white politicians going among the white folk after all these school shootings, people. Y'all notice there's not a single white politician going in the white neighborhoods talking about gun buybacks. Littleton, Colorado, Aurora, Colorado, mass shootings all over the place. Nobody is going there in these liberal bastions demanding a gun buyback. You notice that that's not a phrase that gets used there, is gun buyback. Oh, it ain't nothing like that. No, we're going to let them know we in town. Let's go ahead and jump back over here on Zoom again. Let's see if we can get Amari up here on Zoom. Amari, what's on your mind?
B1, Brother Jason, how are you doing? Thank you for having me. This is a conversation about what we need to do. I have two positions that I'd like to bring up, and then I'd like to get your ideas about.
Yeah, I'm not really asking about what we need to do. No, we're already doing it today, sir. So you must be late joining us.
Okay, right. Yeah, no, I've been trying to catch up with your recent broadcast the last couple of days.
Okay. Well, today we've been acting on those things that we've been talking about here. So the case in Lebanon, Tennessee, the case in Leesburg, Georgia, we've been letting the politicians there and the district attorneys there know about that. So if you haven't listened to the first couple of hours of the program today, since I've been on, you're going to want to catch up on that. Thank you very much for giving us a call. We're not doing up here just for a general conversation today here, folks. For those of you who are late joining us, I have zeroed in on these two instances that I've been talking about now for over a week. This Robert Moore in Lebanon, Tennessee, who was released out into the wild by District Attorney Jason Lawson. I want information on him. So if you want to do something, what you going to do about it, Omari? What I want to know, I want this fella's arrest record. I want to know where he's from. We don't have any social media here. The district attorney, why has he not been charged with a gun crime, felony, and hate crime? Why is he not? Same thing in Lee County. That's what we've been doing. And they've been emailing me over there. We want these folks to know what we up at. So I'm not having a program here to find out about what we gonna do. I'm telling you what we're gonna do about these two right here. Jason, what do we do? I've already picked the targets. These are the two targets: Jeffrey Kinzer, Robert Moore, and the district attorneys who have released them out here. We are calling them up and letting them know, no, we're not going to play the game. You're not going to shuffle your feet. We can see what you're doing. We see what you're doing. So District Attorney Jason Lawson and District Attorney Lewis Lamb, we see what you're doing and we're watching you. Even if Channel 10 isn't saying anything, we're watching you. This is not an issue that's going to go away. We are watching you because we suspect that you're going to try to plea bargain these hate crime felonies down to misdemeanors. We highly suspect that you're about to try to do the white supremacist shuffle and you're going to try to plea bargain these felonies down to misdemeanors. We suspect that that's the little trick bag game, the little fix is in, and that you're going to try to plea bargain them down to misdemeanors once you feel the attention has died down and the heat done let off, that you're going to go ahead, okay, let's plea bargain this down to misdemeanors. No, these are felonies. And no, the charge is attempted murder, not aggravated assault. This is not aggravated assault. You have gun laws in these states that subscribe what these fellas did as felonies. And in both cases, these are on video. It is not up for debate. See, here's the issue. They were able to lie during the Carmelo Anthony trial because they wouldn't release the footage of what happened. In this situation, we can all see what it is, which is why the white supremacists are real quiet, because they hate the fact that you can see what it is. They want to defend them. Don't get me wrong. They want to defend them. But it's hard when you can see on the video what occurred. So that's why they're trying to sneak these things through. Okay, let's let the heat die down and see if we can pass a plea bargain through at the very bottom here once everybody stopped looking and the conversation dies down. So what are we doing today? We're moving on those. Jeffrey Tyler Kinzer in Leesburg, Georgia. Robert Moore in Lebanon, Tennessee. This is what it is. I want to get in touch with the victims. The victims that Robert Moore assaulted in the middle of that street. I want to get in touch with them. I want to get in touch with the victims there that he assaulted in this street. I want to get in touch with them. We've gotten a hold of the family there in Leesburg. This is good. This is exactly what I want. I got emails sitting over here, so this is exactly what I like. I like this right here. This is exactly what I'm looking for. This is exactly what I want. Now I want Lebanon, Tennessee. We got a hold of the family in Leesburg, Georgia. Great. Now I want to get a hold of the folks in Lebanon, Tennessee. Because the white supremacists, you saw how they set up here and blazed Carmelo Anthony through the system. I showed you all that can happen. They'll try to do that here too. They'll try to hurry up and flash these assailants through the damn system. And then next thing you know, oh, we plea bargain them out before everybody can do anything. If they think they can slide it on through real quick, they will do this. As heinous as it is, yes, they will. Right there in front of you, your lawyers and everything else. Remember Ahmaud Arbery. Remember Botham Jean. They'll sit right there in front of you and still try to plea bargain them down with you, the attorneys, and everybody else sitting right there, and they'll still try to do it. Remember? Let me go ahead and jump back over here on Zoom again. Let me see if we can get Brandon up here on Zoom. Oh, no, I know y'all thought it was Monday. It's like, oh, well, we'll see Jason over the weekend. Oh, no, I'm up and at him. All right, we got Brandon here on Zoom. What's on your mind, brother?
What's going on, JB, man? Great broadcast as usual. I'm happy to know, man, that you're that we're out here getting something started, man, to combat all these white supremacists out here, because it has been a hell of a last few weeks with all these attacks, with all these recent attacks. And man, I just want to call in and just let my black people know, hey, listen here. You have got to stay ready. It is not a game out here. Y'all better stop BSing around and get familiar with not just your regular handgun, but with all the guns. That was 100% true. You need to know how to break down that AR-15. You need to know how to clean an AK-47. You need to know what parts are good, what parts are bad. You need to set you a budget and get something ready. And get some type of artillery ready. If your state still allows you to have assault rifles, you need to get one. You need to get a good one. I can promise you can spend about $1,000 and it'll be the best $1,000 you've ever spent. That is something that is very important, man. And stop lollygagging around. Don't be out here looking at these dang on dudes shooting these little AR pistols, though. These dudes don't know anything about guns. You need to get familiar with someone who actually knows what they're doing, how to disassemble and put these things in. Then you need to know the difference between a cold hammer forged barrel and a button barrel nitride. What the difference in between your trigger pulls and how to break it down. Your AR the buffer systems, though, your scopes, an LPVO, ACCS reticle scope, man. These are things you need to know. And these are things that people got to know the difference on a 5.56 and a 223 and what a 7.6239 can do. These are definitely different things you got to go ahead and know. And I just want to go ahead and put it on out there because weapons are like my hobby. Trucking is my game, no, but weapons is like my hobby. I'm a gun nerd. You know, I'm pure on out. That's my hobby. I got time on my hands. I'm probably just gonna be looking at guns and studying them, the history. So I'm a gun buff.
Well, look, this is something you have to take upon yourself. This is adulthood. Nobody is gonna whoop your ass and make you learn to be proficient in self-defense. That's going to be something you have to take care of yourself. There won't be a bunch of social pressure. It's very unlikely it's going to come up at the family reunion. It's very unlikely that you're going to experience a lot of social pressure to be able to do that. If you don't take the initiative to do it, no one's going to force you to do that. And you live in a society that hopes that they pin their hopes on you being the most helpless person in the room because that's easy prey. And you sit around talking about you don't want no trouble, and they're like, I'm so glad to hear that because we came to bring all the trouble. I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and put it on out there, man. Because I got such a vast knowledge of guns and weapons, though, man, I just want to be able to give a platform to anyone who might, males, females, if you're a dude out there who want to know the difference between what that $500 AR and that $1,500 AR and that $3,000 AR or your assault rifles, your handguns, or if you just want some quick references about what to buy, what should you buy, where you need to be looking on that. I want people to email me at HTB Trucking. Handle the business trucking, but htbtrucking@yahoo.com, htbtrucking@yahoo.com. Y'all can email me there, man, and I can go ahead and shoot y'all some great links, great references if you need to go ahead and know some real truth, some real stuff about what you need to go ahead and have in your system, everything from body armor to scopes to anything you need to know about guns, though, man. No, just holler at me. I know for sure.
Appreciate that, Brandon. Thank you very much for giving us a call today. Yeah, I mean, that's an important thing to understand. Like, if you buy guns, don't buy anything that's less than $500. What? You know, you can't just buy anything. There's a lot of cheap stuff out there. High Point and things from back in the day. There's a lot of cheap stuff out there. You don't have to get the most expensive thing. You watch a John Wick movie. You don't have to get a Desert Eagle. As a matter of fact, it's not even, I don't recommend getting a Desert Eagle. You don't have to get a Heckler and Koch. It's cool if you get one. You watch John Wick. He's got a Heckler and Koch. You can get one. You don't have to. You can get a Glock. You're good. 9mm, 40 caliber. You're good. I don't like revolvers. I don't. But don't get a cheap gun. You can bend the damn firing pin. They come from China. That's your ass. But, Glock, H&K, Smith & Wesson, Springfield Arms, those are good. Those are good, but don't get anything cheap because this is an investment for your life. Ruger, yes. Springfield Arms, Ruger. These are all very good, reliable companies. Sig Sauer. These are all very good ones. These are all very good ones here, but don't get anything cheap. Don't get anything cheap. You want to do at least $400-$500. Make sure there's no issues with like you're getting one that you're dropping and shoots and things. Don't do that. But yeah. That's exactly what you want to do there. So, and another thing, you also want to go to the gun range and you want to be ambidextrous. Fellas, ladies, you want to have a good date night and whatnot, you go to the gun range, you want to be ambidextrous. You need to learn how to shoot with one hand, left or right. Jason, why? Because you never know when a white supremacist might try to run up on you on Interstate 95. What? Damn! You never know what could happen on Interstate 95. And I'm not telling you to be Bruce Willis in Die Hard with a Vengeance, but I am saying just in case. Because I don't know what hand you driving with. But just in case you got to drive the car with one hand, I recommend you learn how to be ambidextrous. That means proficient with both hands, in case you didn't know. To shoot one-handed. Can you shoot with your left as well as you shoot with your right? Or are you clumsy and you just busting shots like Ice Cube in Players Club? That will get you killed. So, in addition to just shooting different weapons, when you have a handgun, make sure that you are good and solid, not just with your right hand, but with your left hand. That you can shoot with just one hand. And I know when you're being taught, they teach you to brace one hand up under the other. However, there may be situations where that's not feasible, which I just told you. If you're driving, how many times have you had white supremacists sit up here and assault these black women while they're driving down the freeway? He thinks he's got you vulnerable. Okay, but understand, you're really vulnerable if your car needs to stop. So you see, while your car is still moving, you're a moving target. Think about the military. The military would never teach you to stop your vehicle and have a firefight. They teach you how to have a firefight if you can't move. But as long as the vehicle can move, they tell you, get the hell out of there. A moving target is harder to hit. Plus, you can get yourself to a place where if you do have to stop and shoot, you want to be able to do it on your terms. The middle of the freeway may not be the best place for you to do this. You need to get to a place where you got more advantage. Okay, so they want to stop you on the freeway because this is where they want to initiate the ambush. All right, I got you where I want you. It's like, no. We're going to make some room here. And if I do have to engage you, it's going to be on my terms. It's going to be on my terms. So to everyone here, in addition to everything else I told you, if you go to the gun range, practice with both hands, with just one. And that also includes reloading. Practice doing it with both hands. And get the kids. Make it a family affair. 4th of July is coming up. Get the kids. Make it a family affair. No problem whatsoever. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can get Black Powder Podcast up here. Black Powder, what's on you on? Unmute yourself.
There we go. Sorry about that. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. What's on your mind?
It's been a while, man. I just want to follow up with everything that everybody's been saying as far as knowing the difference of calibers and so on and so forth. This is something that I am extremely involved in. I'm still an amateur, but nonetheless, I'm still involved in firearms and letting y'all know these companies don't give a damn about you, number one. Number two, going out and just buying a general firearm, something like a Taurus, a Ruger, whatever, you got to realize that you need to ask yourself, what is your life worth? If you're going out there spending $399 or however much it is and thinking it's just as good as something, that ain't good enough. Number three, the Second Amendment community in regards to black people, like I said before, they don't give a damn about you, but it's been a long time since we need to start giving a damn about ourselves. I've gone to NRA before. I've gone to SHOT Show. I just came back from an event that was actually black hosted. And even still, the question that I get asked is this legal? It's been long since past that question that we've actually had to do some studying and do basically what the opposites do in order to make sure that their community is safe. We can't afford to ask that question anymore. We need to actually get more involved, and we need to build up a stronger community. It's not about being accepted by everybody else. It's about accepting ourselves and protecting the community that we have. So all this stuff as far as getting body armor and knowing the different calibers and so on and so forth, that's great. We do have black manufacturers out there, and I'm not just talking about blacksmiths that put pieces together from other companies. I mean people that actually manufacture black-owned firearms. And on top of that, I remember a long time ago, I think when I first called in years ago, there was a guy that said we need to get AR 500 body armor and suit up. Like, no, because they don't care about you either. Matter of fact, AR 500 posted on Instagram something about Carmelo being sent to prison, which isn't justice because it's utilizing taxpayers' dollars to keep him alive. And that's AR 500. So we got to do the research on where our money is going, which is what we should be doing in general. But nonetheless, that's all I got to say about it.
Well, brother, like I said, man, I can agree with a number of things you did say. However, I've had issues with some of these black folk out here too. So I am more concerned about my people being helpless than anything else. That's problem number one. Problem number two, I've got guns that cost $400. I've got guns that cost a couple thousand without me going into detail about that. I've never had an issue with any of them. What I have had an issue with is cheaper ones, and cheaper is a couple of hundred. So if you got something that's a couple of $100, I've had everything from bent firing pins to constant jamming. Generally speaking, I think the manufacturer means more than anything else. So if you get a Smith & Wesson, a Ruger, a Sig Sauer, an H&K, a Glock, you're pretty much going to be good. These are good quality manufacturers without some of that nonsense that's happened with the Glocks that they're dropping. Although it's unlikely you're going to get one of those. Although the police got plenty of them, apparently. What? So the police are the ones who own. Yeah, they're the ones. They're dropping them and shooting each other with them. So it's whatever's happening with them, maybe they get that worked out. Who knows? But generally speaking, I think it comes down more to the manufacturer. I'm not a fan of revolvers. However, if you're going to get, I'd rather have you with one than with nothing. But I'm not a fan of revolvers. I'm also not a fan of small calibers. So 22s, 380s. I'm not really a big fan of that. A lot of females may gravitate to that because females tend to have smaller hands. So that's where we men come into it. Because it's like, she'll be done got something that, you and me, it's like, hey, I ain't trying to have no, Matrix style shootout. It's like, I need to do 1 or 2 shots and it's over. I'm not trying to do no 15 shots. I'm not Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon getting paid by the bullet. So I want it to be 1 or 2 shots and it's over. However, a female may gravitate to a smaller caliber weapon. And if she does this, it might fit, quote unquote, fit her hand or fit in her purse stylishly, but that might not be a man stopper. So she needs to, I'm a big fan of the female who's with me, baby, you need to know how to use a man stopper. So a smaller caliber weapon is really something I would try to avoid for me. For a female, I guess it's better than absolutely nothing. But boy, I'd rather have something that I'm not a big fan of small calibers. So I think those kind of things, they're important. As far as body armor is concerned, once again, remember in some places that can be a crime, which is ridiculous. Remember the 4 big black people that they arrested who were probation officers and got pulled over because they were 4 big people. Okay, really? So things like that. So, but however, to be totally honest with you, if you can get it, get it. If you can get it, get it. If you can get it from a black manufacturer, that's great. That's wonderful. I don't have an issue with that whatsoever. Although I need some of them to quit bull jiving around, because without me saying anything more, there's a reason y'all ain't heard me talk about certain gun clubs. There's a reason you haven't heard me talk about them. There's a reason.
Yeah.
It's not because I never got in touch with them. It's because I did. So there's a reason you ain't heard me say anything.
You mind if I follow up on the gun club aspect that you're talking about?
Sure.
So I don't really care. There may be some people that are part of that certain gun club that you're talking about, but regardless, the main reason, because I was actually part of that club a long time ago, and I thought things were straight focused and goal oriented, especially seeing as how I went to their event. That was their major event where they started saying they were going to be more politically active, and it didn't happen. But nonetheless, the main reason why I gave up on that club is because the person that they put in charge that pretty much literally built the training program from ground up was shoved to the side. And in the back of my mind, I look at it like, if we're all supposed to be in this together and you easily drop the person that helped you build from ground zero and said we can always find another person, to me, it's not a matter of you dropping that person. It's a matter of you basically betraying another black person. And that's exactly what they expect, the other clubs expect, because they don't really put any respect on your name, because they know you're not going to last long and they don't believe that you're worth anything. So that's why I never even renewed my little $40, because that upset me extremely. The local chapter where I'm at, they're good people, but overall, no. I can't put my money towards stabbing another black person in the back.
They got to get their act together, man. Well, just
They're not going to.
Well, I mean, hey, look, at this point here, I've checked out, to be totally honest with you. I've seen enough. I heard enough. It's been years. If folk want to know why it is that I don't promote it and things, it's not because I didn't talk to them. It's because I did. It's because I did. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Don't get my gears to turning. Don't get me started. Don't get my gears to turning. Don't get me started. I might. We'll see how it goes. To my folks in Tennessee, I'm going to have folks who are going to be listening to this now or going to be listening to this later. I'm not going to keep you all here all afternoon and stuff because I got some phone calls I want to make here now. Not going to keep you all here all afternoon for that, but for my folks who are in Tennessee, in Lebanon, Tennessee, these people here who got assaulted here, I don't know. Can I get my hands on the police report for it? For those of you, I want y'all to check with Lebanon, Tennessee. Check with, is it the police department, the sheriff's department? I want to get a copy of that gun report. I want to know who the victims were here so we can get in touch with them. I want to know who the victims are here so we can get in touch with them. I want to know who these victims are here so we can get in touch with them so that we can also let District Attorney Jason Lawson, who is serving or apparently misserving Wilson County, to let him know that your constituents are out there being assaulted by gun felons, and apparently you think that gun felonies are actually misdemeanors, or it's very, very clear that you're steering in that direction. And we want to make it clear here that that is unacceptable. So if you thought it was going to fly below the radar, people were not going to be paying attention, and let's just go ahead and see if we can sweep this on through. So, no, there's going to be a glitch in the hitch. Bright and early Monday morning, going to be a glitch in the hitch. So that's what we're focusing on here right now. So my people there in Lebanon, Tennessee, who is the brother here? The woman? I want to know who they are. We want to be able to find out what's going on with them. Are their rights being protected? Is the community being kept safe? Is District Attorney Jason Lawson keeping the community safe? Or is District Attorney Jason Lawson part of the problem? Is District Attorney Jason Lawson a threat to public safety? If his job is to lock these people up and give them proper charges, is he a threat to public safety? And we are starting to come to the suspicion that he is. It's starting to look like you may be a threat to public safety here because you are not protecting the community. regardless of who appointed you, it's starting to look like you're a threat to public safety. So, sir, if you want to convince us that you're not a threat to public safety, then we need to see the actual charges for the crimes that were committed here. And this was not aggravated assault. This was attempted murder in the middle of the street. This was not aggravated assault. He was armed and he was trying to kill people. He was shooting. Case closed. Case closed. So to anybody who has any information specifically about Robert Moore, the suspected white supremacist assailant in Lebanon, Tennessee, who was the instigator of this violent incident, if you have information about that, or if you know the victims, you can email me at theblackauthority@yahoo.com. That is theblackauthority@yahoo.com. To catch a white supremacist. We are not here to talk about to catch a predator. We're here to talk about to catch a white supremacist. And the district attorney was starting to come to the conclusion that either you are disinterested or you are aiding and abetting, and that's problematic. So we are not just the Black Channel. We are to catch a white supremacist. We're going to get active about that. So if you have information about the assailant or his victims, specifically that, not if you got suspicions. I want folk who made contact. If you got a police report, if you got the information about that, if you got a police report, or if you got contact with the victims or their families, get at me, theblackauthority@yahoo.com. That is theblackauthority@yahoo.com. And we are going to start putting pressure on these people and applying the pressure to let them know that we see what you're trying to do. You're trying to send the message that you are creating safe havens to protect white supremacists or suspected white supremacists. It's suspected violent extremists, that you are using your public office as a haven to protect violent extremists. And if you're going to do that, then we're going to make sure that folks know that that's your middle name. And if you thought that we were going to take a day off, no, you thought wrong. You thought wrong. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here, folks. Keep your eyes and your ears open. It's summertime. It's great to go to the beach. I need some black folk to get to the gun range. It's great to go buy yourself a new pair of shoes. You need to go buy yourself a gun cleaning kit. It's great to sit up here and watch Netflix. You better figure out about protecting yourself. It's wonderful to go visit the kids, your nieces and nephews for their birthdays. You go grab them, throw them in the back of the damn car, and we're going to go take them to the gun range. We're going to have a fully informed, fully educated, fully capable family. I want to thank all of you for tuning in today's program. This concludes this broadcast of the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future and the future is vigilance.